Now, if you do remember, was there some drama between these two? Yes. Yes, there was, right? Going way back to the Breaking Bread video, FD Signifier actually included Hasan in his segment about debate bros. And it's kind of an interesting story about why, right? FD's going to explain that, he just didn't really know, and somehow, to people, these are people in a different content sphere, and it's easy to lump people outside of your content sphere together if they, seem alike for superficial reasons. Obviously, we know that the Vosh community, the Destiny community, and the Hasan community are very different communities. But, maybe there's something like demographically that they have in common. It's an easy enough mistake to make. I don't think there wasn't really so in that video, right, this got Vosh's goat, this got Xander Hall's ire, all these people. Yeah, this was when Xander Hall started, went off on every Black Lefttube creator and called them stupid, right? This was they really got mad about this, but FD was not really disparaging them, attacking them, saying terribly bad things. What's up, Yulmandra? This is fitting in for two of the two internet streams that made a living off of sacrificing others on their altar. Now they will lie upon the stone. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's kind of sad to because like I said, I don't hold grudges. I don't make up my mind about people in a way that I assume that they can't change, right? I mean, it takes a lot to get get into that categorization in my mind. Even Vosh, I feel like there was probably a time where he could have course corrected. There was a time that he could have listened to certain voices rather than others, and I don't know, God. There's also a lot of objectively a lot of harm that he did, but I don't know. What never happened was an honest and real apology with Vosh. But anyway, yeah, it's sad because I do want to have leftist unity. I do want to be able to work with people. I do want to have a space for people to grow and change, but I don't see it. I really don't see it with Vosh, with Keffels, and especially not with Vosh. So let's get to the content, because I've probably been edging you long enough. I really wanted to like Keffels, but she made it really hard. Yeah. I mean, it is it's just sad. It's just really sad. We could use all the help we could get right now, honestly, considering what we're dealing with in terms of the acceptance of open transphobia, the way that cloaks itself in phrases like "leave kids alone," right? While these people refuse to leave trans kids alone. And the complacency from content platforms and corporations for that kind of thing, right? We find out that the woke corporations, the rainbow capitalist corporations, they were just in it for the money. They didn't care about us. They never cared about us, right? And I mean, one positive thing, I guess, if you want to look at it that way, is that you have seen a strike against Candace Owens, a video taken down, and a warning given to Jordan Peterson, and I think a strike against Michael Knowles. So the untouchable Daily Wire is not quite so untouchable these days, but we'll see what happens with it, right? Let's get to the... Actually, probably the easiest one. And also, I want to give this channel a shout out. If I can find them. Here it is. So the reason that I'm very thankful for this channel, this is Hasanabi Network, right? Posting Hasan's VOD along with timestamps. There we go. There's the FD Signifier timestamp. But let me make sure that I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, FD Signifiers in the building. Finally. It's been a long time. Replay that clip you need to see. We were doing a Hogwarts. Don't respond to her. Don't look at her when she barks. That's definitely a big no.
Yeah, that's Kaya. So yeah, that's their. This is the channel that I'm watching this from, and I want to make sure to do my best to thank the people that are providing us with the source material for the content today. Thank you very much. Shout out to Hasanabi Network. You were the only one I could find with the entire segment, except for the evil copyright striking channel, which I did not want to watch this on. I do everything I can to avoid them. So yeah, go give them a follow.
Oh no, because she needs to learn that she can't get attention that way.
Hogwatch is when we look at Republican fuckery.
Yeah.
What are the language parameters?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so cool. What like how do you? We're gonna have to talk about this for me eventually. Let's do some hog watching.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
We got to get into the nature of context. I'm looking at this. I don't understand how your brain can process what I'm looking at.
Yeah, this is like, I've been doing this for so long that it's second nature. So it's not that, it's not that hard for me, but it is definitely.
Can somebody in Twitch chat pin that for me?
Definitely confusing for a lot of people when they try to comprehend it for the first time ever.
I just saw somebody say every time a guest comes on, this conversation happens.
Yeah.
But no, because I'm also, I stream to like 500 to 1,000 people every randomly.
It's not that different than streaming to 35,000 people.
I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm trying
I think it's the same. I mean, it's just like the principles.
So yeah, those are the Twitter posts for today. If you could. Give that some love, hit that with a like, hit that with a retweet if you do not mind doing that. Help us blast off.
The fundamentals are the same.
Which is be entertaining.
Yeah.
Don't say anything that is going to get you clipped and canceled. Which
I say things that get me clipped and canceled all the time.
So you're kind of seeing the difference between, now this isn't entirely true, right? But generally speaking, Twitch streams tend to be longer. If they're political streams or just chatting streams, they'll have many different subjects, many different segments within them that'll then get broken up into little smaller segments for YouTube to go on there to get, because YouTube has reach and Twitch and discoverability and Twitch doesn't, right? On YouTube, we'll generally call these lives, right? And the idea with a live, right? YouTube does not have its stuff together proverbially. Yes, proverbially, it does not have its stuff together as a streaming platform. It's more geared towards people who make videos doing lives, right? Instead of streams, it's lives. It's like somebody like FD Signifier, who from his video essays or his signified B-sides, coming on and doing kind of a short self-contained segment, usually on one subject, right? Usually shorter, right? Whereas Hasan will stream for like 8 hours a day, cover all the news that's going on, and very different cultures here.
I'm aware of
in terms of like YouTube versus Twitch.
Yeah. I'm transgressing somewhat. I have some people that are in my community that are not going to be happy that I'm here.
Really?
Yes. Oh, Hasan, surely
That's crazy. I'm always shocked when people whose like opinions I'm very closely aligned with, at least, like I'm shocked when their communities are like, don't talk to that guy.
So let's run back to like not because it was one-sided initially. Like my first impression of you, right?
Oh yeah.
It was not necessarily positive. I had to be corrected by other people in my community whose opinions I trusted, because I saw aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? I see me. I see the beard. It's not fully on your neck.
Wait, so like explain the uncle thing to me. Is it like he's like, is it an Avatar reference, like Uncle Iroh?
You've upgraded beyond the typical aesthetics. and I see the frogs and like the stuff going past, and so I'm out of touch. I'm like, oh, this is another one of these motherfuckers. And so like I'll never forget, I put you in the first.
Wait, the frogs, yeah, the frogs. See, I can see that. Look, the frogs are a pretty good indicator, right? Not entirely, because it's a weird thing. The Pepe thing, like, obviously Pepe comes from a web comic that what is it called, Boys Club or something? And it's just, yeah, like there's all these characters. Pepe is one of them. Pepe likes to pee with his pants down and is very relatable. And, that was all Pepe was. Pepe was an emote that would usually say things like "feels good, man," to explain why he pees with his pants and underwear fully down. Because it feels good, man, or whatever. There's other like Pepe memes, right? And all until Pol kind of took over 4chan, and then Pepe got because like he got memed on 4chan, and then 4chan went super alt-right and like kind of took Pepe with them, and Pepe became for a while kind of a symbol for alt-right stuff generally. Like, right, there was a lot of use. In fact, some really wild stuff where they like there was a ancient Egyptian frog god named Kek, and somehow this became like meme magic. They thought that 4chan was convinced that they had memed Trump into the presidency using the power of an ancient Egyptian frog god. But anyway, right, while that was happening, Twitch was just happily posting their Pepes, right? Twitch never really got the message that Pepe was had been appropriated by the far right, and people just kept on. Also, considering how much of like breadtube culture was, dirtbag left, debate bro adjacent, these people aren't gonna give up their Pepes, and now obviously Pepe's not as strongly associated with that, but yeah, I can see what FD Signifier is saying here.
Break bread
with the frogs.
Yo.
Yeah, as a debate bro.
As a debate bro.
Yeah.
Which I apologize for, chat.
No, it's all good. I mean, dude, listen, that was like, as far as like left-wing content creators not fully grasping what I do, yours was like the least offensive. So
Wait, so it doesn't have to do with it doesn't have anything to do with Avatar Last Airbender?
I never really got upset at that beyond like, oh, it's just a misunderstanding, but I totally understand why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I think so it's a combination of things.
And like, look, to be fair to FD Signifier here, right? There are some commonalities between Hasan and Debate Bros, right? I definitely don't put him like, in the tier of like Vosh or Destiny or anybody like that. And yeah, there's like a lot of nonsense that they do. A lot of the victim, self-victimization and claims of anti-white racism, claims of misandry and all the rest, right? That they'll do that Hasan doesn't get into, but there is like a connection. Like there's there's a little bit of a similarity there. Maybe it was for some people.
I think the first step is aesthetically. Oh, I need one of these. Can I go ahead and can I partake?
It's nicotine gum.
Oh, this isn't like a massager? What is
that's a massage. Yeah. You can, go ahead.
Now you've extended my welcome here.
Okay, what is that? What is that? Oh, I see what it is. Yeah.
Show me how to use it.
No, hold on, I'll show you. And he's using the massage gun.
People that are longtime viewers of mine that know that every
you just first turn it up. Change the
He's muted.
people that are
Does he have like an offline or like an online producer or something?
watch my oh my fucking god.
I did listen. I'm in the same boat. That's why I have it.
So
I'm
this
an old
is
man.
a future investment. No, you trust me. You don't know what old feels like.
Hasan, you gotta get a trampoline. That's what you need.
Like yet, Hasan.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I turned 41 Monday.
Okay, well, I'm not that far off. I'm about
30 yet?
I'm 32. I'm about to be 32.
So you're starting to catch the first wave.
Yeah, I was partially deaf for almost for 24 hours 2 days ago.
Just cause.
Well, I thought like I have eczema for the first time in my life. I've gotten eczema, which is not a thing that I used to have. Here you go for the camera.
That's a problem. Yeah.
And I thought because of that, and also because I'm like kind of sick and groggy, and my ear just like I was in the shower and I was like doing this when I always do to try to get the water out of my ear, and it like clogged my ear, and then I was like partially deaf. I was like, oh shit, I wonder if this is because I am
Dying.
because I thought I'm old, and I wonder if it's because I have allergies to my dog.
Oh yeah, that is like a real concern for dog owners.
No, that's crazy. I had a similar experience. I have lost some hearing in this left ear.
Oh really?
I think mine was COVID related.
Oh, mine was just like, it was clogged from earwax. I had swimmer's ear. Yeah, and they took it out. It was nasty as fuck, but it was awesome. Like I was listening in 4D, it was in HD, in 4K.
That's it. We're comfortable. Now we're comfortable.
Yeah.
But so going back to what I was saying, like I think the aesthetics throw people off, and so like it wasn't until to be fair, I hadn't watched hardly any of your content at that point in time. I had heard about you because, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the chat, but we have a lot of crossover. If I look at my YouTube analytics, you and like 3 other of your like
fan accounts
are like in my top, viewers also watch whatever. And so people were like, no, FD, you got to sound wrong. It's not debate, bro. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I actually am very much an anti-debate, bro.
Which I eventually caught on to. And I appreciate that. We also had, so secretly, me and Hasan have we've been best friends for like 2 years. As Hasan has coached me through getting better at not involving myself in bullshit, which I have failed on multiple occasions to do.
I know. It's hard. It's hard not to. I get it.
It doesn't make sense. But that's the flip side, though, because I saw something you did a couple of weeks ago where you were like basically yelling at your chat, like, y'all make it impossible to get certain like guests,
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, and so I think that's the thing. If I give the most credence to my people who are in my community or who I talk to and whose opinions I respect, I think that's the thing that becomes a flaw for both of us. But since you are much more prominent, is that the community you develop feeds off the energy you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like other people see that energy, and like every once in a while you act like a normal person. Somebody says something crazy to you, and you say, "Oh, fuck you," and your community's like, "Yo, it's fuck whoever this is for the next 48 hours."
And I try to make sure that we don't engage in, like that kind of
Gelatinous Biscuit says, I'm black, and we usually refer to older, more knowledgeable male role models as unc or uncle. Could vary between regions, though. The Avatar reference is just adding to that. Okay, so it started as that, and then because there's like, because FD Signifier is kind of into some of that weeb stuff, right?
Sane behavior all the time, and I yell about that kind of behavior all the time. Like a big chunk of why
into a little bit of the anime, as is Hasan.
I think a lot of like quote unquote leftists online on Twitter don't like me is because I spend a decent amount of time shitting on the left from the left by saying like, guys, put your best foot forward. Don't behave like this. And those moments are very clippable because a lot of people just want to say,
look, attacking the left from the left, like, right, means that you're to the left of the online left. And I don't know, I mean, maybe to the median person out there, maybe compared to Debate Bros, Hasan is to the left. I don't know how much I really get of like him. I need to say this the right way, right? When I attack the left from the left, what I'm saying is that like white fragility doesn't really have a place on the left with somebody like Foch, right? Or that like the anti-SJW aesthetics that somebody like Xander Hall brings aboard with all the stuff that he hasn't unpacked isn't just aesthetics, right? It actually is like an anti-SJW mentality, right? What Hasan is talking about, like at best, right, is when he's like, just be normal. Just be normal. Just be normal. Like, don't like, hit people with language. And I mean, like, I guess there's a point to that. Like, if there's like language that is that we use in the stream that is not like used by the average person on the street, and you're talking to the average person on the street, maybe don't, maybe use some terminology related to them in a way that's understandable, right? But at worst, it is straight up tone policing, right? And Hasan does that shit. He's done that to the trans community. I assume like, to other marginalized identities. Also, that's not a flex, Hasan. That's not something to brag about. That's just you being kind of fragile, right? Like, I get that your appeal as a content creator is that you don't look like what somebody's expecting of you. Don't look like a stereotypical leftist, and you can reach out to people that are not stereotypical leftists. But maybe when you're reaching out, don't punch left, and don't punch left and then call that like critiquing the left from the left, right? I think what he's trying to say is like, I'm still on the left, but it's gotta critique this, and like, look, there's a little nugget of class reductionism in even Hasan, okay? And it's not pretty, and we see it from time to time, and I point it out when I see it. I know that he's not a one-note symphony. He's not just like one-dimensional. That is not all that there is to Hasan. I appreciate his ability to appeal to a demographic that maybe isn't stereotypically leftist, but like there is no reason to be punching left. Like that's some Bill Clinton shit. You gotta, like, that's not how you build a movement, right? I want to be able to show people Hasan and not have to cringe at every other thing, right? That makes it impossible.
Sell their Substacks or their Ko-Fis or whatever coffee.
I don't even know what the hell this shit is.
Yeah, it's just like most people on Twitter, like they always are trying to.
Is that like a monetization of?
Yeah, it's like a Substack
content. Just
well, no, they like write stuff or whatever, okay. Or their Patreons. So then like, so then they will clip those moments and be like, look, he's like such a piece of shit. Like he fucking hates trans people or whatever, which is always hilarious when they say that.
No, Hasan, we got it. You don't hate trans people. You just love like your Hogwarts shit more. You just care about that more.
And that's actually me doing housekeeping. Like I'm trying to make sure that the community that I've built for so long, that I've built together with the members of this community, it represents certain values and doesn't behave in a manner that I think is like not good.
And the flip side is it's impossible to do that at the size I can't even do that now. So I know you can't do it. And so it becomes
I still try.
No, you should still try. It reminds me, fuck, I had it in my head and I lost it as soon as you stopped talking. Or an example of something you did, like, so Umar Johnson came on Breakfast Club like 6 months ago. And as soon as Umar pops up, everybody white has content about him. I just mentioned Umar Johnson for real, like the first time, like a month ago.
I call him Dr. Umar, but maybe it's because I respect him a little bit more than you do. It's weird.
Well, his PhD was in question for a long time, but
not by me because I trust him.
You're doing good. You're doing good. This good job there. But for real though, I remember watching your version of a reaction to that video and several other versions. And once you got past the memeing, right, I was like, oh, this is a good take. And so it was funny because, and if you don't get past the memeing, which is necessary because you're talking about Umar Johnson,
yeah,
you don't get that take. But that's kind of like the weird space that I'm not gonna just say I'm in, but like is developing around me. The air quotes cornbread tube.
Yes,
we all are making content explicitly about like black shit, but also within a. Like one of the criticisms I get a lot is
the issue that, yeah, like I see what you're saying, Raven G, the issue that I have, the concern that I have with what Hasan does, right? And I know that if he was here, he would explain to me, look, like it's not really like that. You got to understand, my stream is not, that my praxis is not reaching out to trans people who are already on the left. You are good. You are on the right side. It's reaching out to people who aren't. People who wander into the stream, into the chat. People that follow XQC and Asmongold and come in. And he's trying to find the people amongst that community that he can maybe like reach out to and have an impact on their ideology. Great. But what I worry about, Hasan, is you creating a community that is like oil and water with the intersectional left, right? Like you creating a community and like sort of normalizing some stuff that just is not going to allow those bonds of solidarity to form between your community, which he's going to say it later, it's pretty it's pretty white, right, among other things, and the rest of the left, right? That would be the one thing I'd be concerned about, right? Obviously not to the degree that I would with Vosh or whoever, but
my audience is predominantly white, which I don't know if that's true. Maybe it's 50-50 at this point. It depends on which video I just dropped, right? Like the video I dropped before this past one, like I changed the thumbnail explicitly to cater to a black audience, and they came for the video. But like, if you are black and you're doing anything in the public sphere at a certain level, if you're successful, your audience is predominantly black. I mean, predominantly white.
Yeah,
unless you're Tyler Perry.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and so it becomes impossible to thread these needles on a regular basis. And so I think the thing that, if I had to say, if I have to, so I don't get punched by a handful of people, the thing that I know a lot of black leftists making content want is to be in the seat I'm in. You know what I'm saying? It's to share, not just like, obviously not everybody's coming to Cali, coming to the crib, but like to be put on in the zeitgeist, because it's impossible to get here. I got here out of luck in a handful of black films. Shout out to, which camera are we on?
That's the one. The other ones are for the podcast.
Okay. Shout out to Khadijah and Bo. Shout out to Teen Noir. Shout out to, we can get my shout outs real good while we
go ahead. Also, get a little bit closer to the microphone, because like everyone is saying that you're not.
Okay, so this is a pretty long segment.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The video drop was the Wizarding game discourse.
Here we go.
And that was a perfect example of like, okay, on one end, I thought it was weird how you became the focal point of that, right? Even though I didn't agree with your overall, like your goal there, because my thing is always, I'm gonna like, what are y'all, what do these people whose issue I don't have a direct connection to, what do they need me to do? That's what I'm gonna do. So, right. So there's that, but then there's also so
that's I mean, like, I take it that FD Signifier is overall on the opposite side of Hasan with the Hogwarts Legacy thing. And like, I mean, like, look, that discourse did get kind of fucked up in a way that I think that Hasan thought that, yeah, he was saying that the expectations that the trans community had were something like way out of line with what we actually have, right? It's like a full boycott was not something that was going to happen, and everybody knew that, including Jesse Gender. Everybody said that, right? From Hasan, you kept on getting this straw man. You kept on getting him fighting against this non-existent viewpoint that the trans community thinks that we can just like be like, go to everybody and be like, don't play the wizarding game, don't play the wizarding game, don't play the wizarding game. No, that's obviously not true, right? That's obviously not true. Trans people reached out to, first of all, our own community, which wasn't completely in line with this, strangely, after all the crap that J.K. Rowling's pulled, you still had trans people, like, there you go, Kaffles. Actually, I don't think Kaffles actually played the game. I think she just teased. I think she just clickbaited the game. But she did have like trans people that, were like, I don't see anything wrong with that. There's no ethical consumption under capitalism. And like, it's really like, okay, I get it. You were a big Hogwarts fan in high school and you still haven't gotten over that, right? And you want to be able to go back to this earlier, more innocent time before you knew anything about J.K. Rowling and like pretend that it's like 2014 again. Wow. I mean, I guess that's sort of relatable. I think there's a lot of people that would like to go back to 2014 if they could, for a lot of different reasons. But I mean, that's just not, realistic. And look, I could have taken Hasan, just saying like, I'm going to play the game, right? I think what was so harmful is that he went off on trans people, yelling at trans people, fighting against trans people, putting words in our mouth as far as our expectation. The only reason, Hasan, that you got trans people asking you not to play that game is because you got the trust of the trans community more than some other creators do, right? They consider you an ally. So, when they hear you talk about J.K. Rowling, accurately diagnose what's wrong with J.K. Rowling, and then you turn around and be like, hey, but we could do a lot of good for charity. I mean, it's just kind of sickening, and it hurts, right? And the trans community, the trans people that I knew were not like, okay, let's go bother Hasan in his chat and yell at him. No, we're just kind of like it's sick to our stomachs, right? That's somebody that says that they get it, somebody that says that they care, somebody who walks the walk, somebody who talks the talk every day refuses to walk the walk. The support that we think that we have when it comes down to an actual action item, and it's not even a complicated or difficult action item. Like people like Jesse Gender were asking you not to spend $70 on a mid game, on a game that's not even that good. You know it's not that good because it's based on a movie. You know how this game works, right? You got a built-in audience. They know that they can sell a mid game to a whole bunch of people because people are just like, a lot of people have an attachment to Harry Potter. So yeah, we know that you're not going to turn that game into like a loser, into a game that does not sell very well. We understand that most people, their disposition towards trans people isn't excessively positive, isn't excessively negative. It's just kind of complacent and they don't really care, right? That's not who we're appealing to, right? Like if you had done almost anything else except for sit there day after day and attack the trans community for beliefs, for opinions, for asks that we weren't even asking for, right? Then I would have been fine with it. But yeah, the way it went down was gross. And pretty sure Hasan went on a podcast talking about the left, how the left scolds people too much. I never watched that one. And that's one thing, if person's at home and they can decide to play the game in front of 0 people when they're getting a free code to promote. And the other thing that's gross about it is he thought that if I raise money for trans charities, then it's okay. Like dude, you're just like looking for a reason to play the game. Okay. And I get it. The dude has a Harry Potter wand, right? He's a fan and he's never gotten over that. And look, I don't hate you for being a fan. I like a lot of cringe things. I like a lot of terrible things. So I can think of, cartoons that are just awful that I still like to watch, but you don't hear me talking about those cartoons, do you? So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think any of us are as judgmental as Hasan was portraying us there. It's yeah. Or at least you can wait a year in the game for the game. Yeah, don't add to the hype, because honestly, like a streamer playing the game adds to the hype. It doesn't matter if it's a trans right charity and you're also, adding some awareness or bring some awareness to trans issues or whatever, right? You can't, it's just cope at that point, right? And it's cope that Hasan apparently could not get over. Yes, Sarah, I agree. Let's hit that like button to get things popping off. That helps me a lot. Anytime you come in here, make sure that you hit that like button. Anytime that you have to leave, make sure that you have hit that like button, because it helps me immeasurably. It's the only sign that you can give to YouTube, other than just watching my stuff, to let them know that you're enjoying watching my stuff. You're not just kind of passively here passing the time, that you like it, and you're giving your recommendation for YouTube to bring other people into the chat as well. So I always appreciate that. Trans people should be able to reach out to allies. Supporting trans people in words alone is meaningless without actions. Exactly. I never buy games when they come out. Yeah, I know, right? Games are expensive. If you want to keep current on all the popular games, you're spending a lot of money. He could have played the Wizard game off stream, and yeah, exactly. Look, I really don't care, right? I mean, I don't judge people by their, what fandoms they're a part of, right? You could be into something that I hate, and that's fine.
That becomes
and yeah, problematic authors. Oh my God, I've definitely look. No, I shouldn't say it. Like, I have a lot of problems with the way that Dream interacts with his community. And I don't know what was going on with George Not Found this last week in terms of the Technoblade, the fundraiser with Technodad and everything, right? I don't know what was going on there. That wasn't a good look at all. But I mean, I do enjoy like a pearl clutch or a boat clutch or some of that, 5v1 manhunt action, right? It's like it. I don't know. I think you can at some level, separate the art from the artist, but publicly, like, prominently playing a game on stream while it's coming out, I don't know if that's the way to do it.
Like steak for content that becomes rich for content.
Yeah.
And then it becomes this like never ending cycle of reaction videos to the take, which is taking away from the whole point of addressing the problem of the individuals affected by that game. I agree. What's the dog's name?
Kaya. Right.
And so I made a video where I kind of spelled this out, and I was like, you know what, if I make this video, it's gonna be about.
You should need Jesse to ask you not to play the wizard game. Yeah, and that's the thing with trans people. Like that was the point that Jesse was making. It's not that like I am sitting here ready to judge you, ready to criticize you, ready to turn your name into mud if you play the game. We're not threatening you. We don't have power over you. I don't know what the hell you thought, right? But it's just the kind of thing, that you'd think that you wouldn't have to say. And yeah, apparently for a lot of people, just like there's no connection there between Queen Turf, who you're supporting by playing the game, in so many different ways that we went over, right? You actually are supporting J.K. Rowling's in doing that. And Lovecraft being a dead guy from the 1900s, whose family doesn't even make money, as far as I understand. Even the doggo agrees.
It is going to become FD versus Hasan, and it's going to get away from the trans folks in my community expressing their issues.
Yeah, but like honestly, FD, if you had a point of contention there, considering that it was Hasan versus trans people, it would have been nice to have you step in. I don't know. Like, I get what you're saying about not wanting to, like, spend all of our waste all of our powder, having a go at each other, but
J.K. Rowling and transphobia, etc. And like, it's just this impossible balancing act of doing the things that one, for me, feed my children, right? That this is my job. But also, if we're serious about the politics, our role is almost explicitly for manufacturing the attention economy, to be going towards the things that we care about and that require that attention.
Yeah, that's why I try to weaponize that all the time, like, and try to make a valuable lesson.
One of my favorite rappers, Unalived 7 People.
Out of like controversies, even controversies surrounding myself. I've moved away from doing it for controversies surrounding myself because I recognize that like anytime I pay any attention to it, that it further emboldens a base of not necessarily and it's never constructive criticism. It's always disingenuous. Yeah. So,
and the other thing I'm going to say is I know that Hasan had the right take on the Nick Merckx situation. Hasan, you contributed to that situation. The shit that you did earlier in the year absolutely 100% contributes to this narrative of like trans people are bullies and blah, blah, blah. Like, right, they're using that shit. They are using that shit. I know that you didn't say that stuff, but when you come out against us in that situation, you don't just like, disagree with us and agree to disagree. I'm going to play the game at home or whatever. It's like, you got to justify, you got to constantly justify yourself. You were actually adding to you're adding wood to the stakes that they want to burn us on.
I have moved away from that entirely, but anytime there is like some real drama or anything like that happening, I try to not leave it at just like, here's my take on this, but this is why it matters. This is why I'm talking about it, and try to like tag it along with like some structural analysis. Yeah.
So my question, which goes back to the conversation we had a minute ago, how do you do this? Like, aside from being insane, which you told me before.
Yeah.
But like, oh shit, Bernie Sanders just scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's how I do it. He's just watching me all day.
I mean, I guess, no meetings Bernie makes sense. But like, explicitly though, like.
Well, I don't know, Spark, like the whole fandom's a complicated thing, right? There was a time in which even if you just didn't connect with Harry Potter or something like that, you didn't say it because like it was such a big fandom. And there are probably a lot of people that legitimately did not ever connect with the series and didn't like, see what the attraction was. Yeah. However, I don't think it makes you like a better person to like, a certain series or to not like, like if you like a series and the creator turns out to be a TERF, right? It doesn't make you like a worse person, like that you liked it. And you know what I mean? It's not like that kind of death of the author argument. I will agree with, right? Not more of Hasan's would?
A better question I think I was thinking about on the way here is, how long, can I get one of these?
VOD, maybe VOD?
I'll grab you a water. Do you want anything else? I have a lot of sodas.
No, just water.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
it's all diet sodas.
That's even worse.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I mean.
we're just going to do the water. A little bit.
Okay, hold on.
I mean, look, I never got into the books, but I remember like seeing the Cauldron of Fire when it came out and really liking that. I think the books were like, yeah, I wasn't like into it that early. But yeah, like yeah, it's
You get nosy. Yeah, I'm rocking. You know, I'm in LA. Hasan, LA is kind of trash. Is this LA is kind of trash, Hasan. I'm a little do I need to leave now? Is this it? Is this bridge burn? Oh, but I do want to talk about. I can't wait till you come back. I do want to talk about something, and it's a transition, something I really want to speak on when you get back. Yeah, but I decided I was gonna try to rep Los Angeles a little bit. So I wore System of a Down shirt. Indeed, appreciate it.
Stay. Wait. Okay, go. Good girl. Hold on. Let me get in here. It's a little. Even with as big as the space I have, it still gets cramped sometimes.
It's so wild. Literally, I had one video go viral. I got on Twitter after that because I said,
wait, isn't that the one like the Cedric Diggory one?
I guess this is what I suppose excuse me, what I'm supposed to do now. The first thing I ever heard about you was this house. And after hearing about it for the last 3-4 years and coming to it, this is no shade. This is a normal ass fucking house.
That's what everybody says. Every time people come to my house, it's literally the exact same response.
Like, I was trying to buy a house early this year. It didn't go through. But like, I don't want people to have seen the house I was about to buy, which is cost less because it's in Georgia, right? So
yeah,
like, money is relative according to space. But like, this is a normal ass. Like going back to the anti-fandom shit. This is just like I have uncles.
You will never be able to describe it to people though. They literally in their minds have like turned it into. In their minds, they've turned it into like a mega mansion, like a chateau with a fucking moat. Like, it's a nice house. It's a really nice house.
It's a nice house,
and it's in a nice neighborhood, which is why it's so expensive. It's not. You're right. It's not in a nice neighborhood, but it's in a neighborhood that is expensive, for sure.
What did I just do? I just fucked that up.
No, I
Alarms.
That turned on its own. One of the TikToks that scared me.
Yeah, you may be on the list after we talk. Just keeping it 100, which if you aren't already.
Oh, I'm on some list, I think. Yeah. You flew this man out to gaslight us into shutting about your mansion. Fuck you, fake commie. Yeah, see, like these are so. That's actually a great take because that's a joke from a 18-month subscriber.
Okay.
And I think originally that's how it started. It started as like jokes inside of this community because we meme a lot, right? It happens. I mean, I'm live like 10 hours a day, but basically it devolved into like my haters taking it seriously. Like Hasan doesn't pay his editors. Hasan lives in a mega mansion, and at first
he's got the correct System of the Down shirt on. If you're gonna wear their merch, it better be toxicity.
Like just joking about it, and then people literally took it seriously and decided.
Is FD starstruck? Maybe a little bit, and I mean, like there's also like he said, he mentioned some things that he disagreed with about with Hasan. And really, really, really heavily downplayed them, right? Like the Hogwarts thing being one of them, giving as a reason, I gotta, feed my kids. Now, I don't think that he's in any danger, even if he was like, I don't think Hasan is gonna like burn the bridge with him over something like that. But there is like a concern that like a lot of content creators will kind of like tamper down any sort of disagreement what they have with a large content creator, especially if you're in their orbit. And like they're obviously FD Signifier's got his own thing going, but like he said, he does share like an audience. He does share somewhat of an audience with Hasan. So in general, platforming a broad critique of each other is not beneficial for either party in that case.
Decided like, oh no, that's actually real. And then half of it was like people who knew that it wasn't real but didn't care because it was like, oh, we get to shit on the e-celeb that I fucking despise for one reason or the other. And then the other half was like onlookers who are well-intentioned, who don't really understand it, and they just like kind of see shit out of context or see other people shitting on me and go, oh yeah, I guess he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's a and this is not to like I didn't come on to absolve you as the
no, I mean you don't have to.
I uncle, but like it is a weird like one thing that I've kept in mind as we've talked is like the otherworldliness of the space we occupy as fake celebrities.
Is this supposed to be a debate? No, I mean this is just the thing like where somebody comes in and talks to Hasan like Nick Green did recently, like Austin does all the time. It's that kind of thing.
We have no real resources or access.
Oh yeah, the Vosh sphere will not well, I mean, like they're, like I said before, they're kind of irrelevant. Like nobody.
As to like the protective elements of celebrity.
Yeah,
we are,
and we also aren't like removed. Like we're not multiple layers removed from our audiences or like the average person in the way that like an actual celebrity is.
Yeah,
like the irony is like because of the nature of the content that we create, it's constant communication and constant feedback, which makes you very accessible. And
yeah, I mean, constant communication, constant feedback, almost as constant as the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour ad break, which come at every top of the hour and every bottom of the hour, meaning that if you do not have a little persona face next to your name, you could be subject to that too. And I don't want you to be taken by surprise by it. Basically, it's a minute and 30 seconds of ads, which doesn't sound that long, but believe me, if you experience it, it's longer than it seems like. That the worst part of it, though, is you miss that 1 minute and 30 seconds of my content. So if you don't want to do that, there's several ways you can take care of that. One is by paying $5 to Twitch. If you buy a sub for yourself, you will be out of the ad break. Another way is if you have Amazon Prime, you can link that up, take Jeff Bezos's money and give it straight, or I guess it wouldn't, is it Bezos? Did he sell it? I don't even know who. Give some rich person's money to me using an Amazon Prime account to do that. And the third way is to just, be lucky enough to be given a gift sub. And that's more likely to happen the more you're chatting in the chat. So.
And just like you mentioned,
it is Jeff's money.
Hogwarts drama is a perfect example of this. Like, because I'm the most accessible person, you can't fucking tell J.K. Rowling to kill herself because she's
no. It's because you went on and on about it. Like, it's not like trans people couldn't get you out of our heads. It's you couldn't get trans people out of your head. All right. You felt guilty about it because you're wrong about it on some level, and you sit there and justify it. You sit there and use your giant megaphone against powerless people who you admit are powerless, and you couldn't shut up about it, all right? That was a, unforced L.
Billionaire, and she only gets on Twitter to just be like transphobic.
Yeah.
But you can get mad at me. You can't get mad at like the transphobic state legislatures. All
I mean, you're gonna hate this, Hasan, but I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
You can't do anything about it, understandably, because like they're not
even
operating
he's gonna see this, but
on any sort of like interest to win elections. Even it's like, who are they doing half of these?
Hasan is aware of my Twitter account. I think he has been my Twitter account's made appearances on Hasan's stream before, even if I haven't.
Who are they pushing half this legislation for? Like, nobody fucking fully understands it. But me, on the other hand, I am an incredibly accessible, easy to attack target that will give you the feeling of solidarity and the feeling of like other people coming on to join your crusade. So it feels productive.
The celebrity works it works against us in that regard. But here's the other thing though, and to be honest, like you also have to have a responsibility with the platform, right? And it's something I just fully started learning, a couple of months ago. I won't say the person's name, right? But I did a video about another creator's shitty video, and I didn't think to myself, and like I was like, I really want this take to be out there. So I left the video out. And it didn't occur to me that even if my fan base wasn't about to go like dogpile that person, I put the green light on that person as ripe for critique. Mm-hmm. And so next thing you know, there's like 5 different critique videos about this individual, and everything's getting.
Anybody know who he made that video? Who's he talking about? Please don't tell me that's Kidology.
Me, I'm like, I didn't do half of this shit. But I was like,
feel free to, yeah.
Oh, but I kind of started the shit. And so like you lose control of your actual.
I can't, I don't, I feel like there's not a lot of FD Signifier videos that are like takedowns of other content creators. I'm not sure who he's talking about.
Like voice. Like as soon as you say, I think about like, Spider-Man, the night he becomes Spider-Man, and then he opens the door the next day and he rips it off the hinges. Like that's kind of the area we're in. And so what you have to learn is, right,
with great power comes great responsibility.
Great power comes responsibility. Fuck, I'm going to get drugged for this appearance. Because that uncle shit is not going to die after this. But no, but for real though, you have to like you, Hasan, as long, you have to say, all right, this person just said something out of pocket. These people said something out of pocket. Or this topic, this area is, I got a strong take on this. Then you got to go through like 7 filters. About like not so much filtering out like what is the right thing to say for the perfect like non-offensive whatever, but for as the chat goes down the which one of these motherfuckers?
Yeah, I can't think of anything other than Kidology. I don't know why. Like, look, I mean, some people did interpret, I don't get it. Right? Some people interpreted Kidology as just being a really low information person. Now, first of all, Kidology is not like dumb is not lacking in Kidology is not an unintelligent, right? Kidology is not and you know, God, I don't even know. I don't even know where that comes from, right? Handling Kidology with kid gloves. I mean, like, her appeal, her video, couched itself with the idea that, like, listen, I am on the left, or I am sympathetic to the left. Like, basically, I want the left to win, right? I'm on your side in terms of who I'm rooting for, but leftist, you've really got to do better. And one of the ways that you can do better is to stop defending the trans community, right? Anybody that's like, you know, I don't know. That can't be who he's talking about. That cannot be who he's talking about. Smart and talented sophist. She's a reactionary TERF as well. Yes, some people are afraid to call her a TERF, but I have no problem with that. That seems pretty evident, right? It's kind of sad that Hasan is the biggest figure that the left has and the most influential. We should have effective parties or orgs by this time.
He's gonna do the dumb shit.
What's up, Chromatic Mage?
Is it you?
Well,
Bean Finder.
Sometimes there's people in here that are like hate watching. There's a lot of
He's
people.
looking for who in the chat's going to start trouble potentially.
They're hate watching that will literally act like they're your fans and go and do crusades on behalf of you in an effort to try to get you to try to get other people to hate you. Mm-hmm. So like the mania only gets worse. It's not like you know, anything you can imagine that like some psychopathic individual would do, people do regularly.
I can imagine.
Oh, interesting. She has the ideology of a new Labour Party leader, but she was screwed out of it because she couldn't afford Oxford.
Yeah, I mean at that
my
point,
shit's a wild. But
yeah,
like,
at that point it's just like, you know, I've just grown accustomed to it. You know what I mean? And
Hasan is talking about, yeah, like I always hate to use that term because like I'm afraid somebody's going to misinterpret what it means. But like, yeah, there's black propaganda, white propaganda, and gray propaganda. Like white propaganda is if somebody comes in here and says like, leave the kids alone, right? You know, it's pretty clear who that is. It's pretty clear where that's coming from, right? You know, especially if they're like, you know, I don't know. They're coming from Tim Pool. They're like their name is Tim Pool Fan 101, right? And say, you know, you know what that's about, right? That's clear cut. You know, it's straightforward, right? Gray propaganda is when you can't tell where it's coming from, and then black propaganda is if somebody came in here, pretended to be trans, but then said something like misogynistic, right? Something that plays right into TERF's talking points. That would be, you know, black propaganda.
I think ultimately the real reason why no matter what happens, I don't give a shit is because Kaya's not eating the shelf, guys. She's eating a thing that I put there. It's a frozen treat for her. That's what she's licking. No matter what happens, the reason why I let it kind of like brush past me is because when I started this at the Young Turks, one, I was working under someone, so I had like no control over my life, no control over my content, no control over my IP. But I also only got negative feedback because TYT was already well hated, like 2014, 2015 Gamergate era. And I saw the entire space is occupied by neck-bearded fucking losers who were reactionary as fuck. And I never really thought I would get to this level of success that I got to. I never thought that I would see massive content creators openly, you know, advocating for progressive policies and whatnot. Most of the time, progressive content creators, I think, in the early age of the Gamergate era,
they were getting murdered out here.
They were not openly talking about their politics. Even if they were progressive in their personal lives, they kind of just like didn't really say anything. A lot of big progressive content creators still don't actually get into politics all too much regardless. But the environment was certainly almost entirely hostile with very little counter to that. And then like BreadTube came around and, you know, all of these communities started growing online as a counter to all of that movement. So now having someone like myself be one of the largest Twitch streamers on the planet who exclusively talks about politics from a like straight up as leftist as you can get perspective, right? I never take it for granted. I always have that to fall back on, where I think to myself like.
And one thing that you should not take for granted is the top of the hour and bottom of the hour ad breaks. These come at the 00 and the 30 of the hour, every hour, twice an hour. For 1 minute and 30 seconds, you lose your immersion, you lose track of whatever I was saying, whatever Hasan was saying, whatever FD Signifier was saying. It's very sad. If you want that not to be so sad, you can subscribe for only $5. As someone once said, it is only $5. However, I recognize that some people, $5 is kind of like, something they don't have right now. In that case, if you have an Amazon Prime, that's just as good as $5. You've got a free sub to give to the streamer of your choice. Hopefully that's me. Or if you're lucky enough, you can get gifted a sub in a community sub gift.
Well, I do have a massive community.
Oh my God, thank you, Len.
Or what? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And so that's interesting. So as I'm sitting here, I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, but like,
wait, thank you. Wait,
no,
it's not showing me who's giving the subs.
It's literally better that you.
No, it is Len.
But this is also.
Just didn't say who it went to.
The Force or some shit.
I'm missing some information, but I appreciate
thing
you.
to have access to, even as it sometimes seeks to destroy you. Because I think about like a Cat Black who was like making content at that time, who was getting murdered even as BreadTube was growing. It wasn't like growing around her.
$5. No, sorry, I shouldn't say that because the Kira got like harassed over that stuff, which is ridiculous. But I thought it was a good meme, absent of the harassment.
And I don't remember the sister's name. She did like, you remember this old videos like white people be like. She was a dark skinned sister. She had like at the time she had a big like curly afro. I can't remember her name. But like for them, like they're out of here. You know what I mean? Because of that same thing you're talking about. And so like,
I gotta be honest with you, chat. I'm like hot for the, like it hasn't been an extremely like hot summer. But for whatever reason, I'm like overly heated right now. I don't know why I'm deciding to jump on a trampoline as a response to that, because that seems like the opposite of what I should be doing. If I want to like cool down, I should be like moving around less or drinking some kind of I'm drinking coffee. What am I'm not ready for the summer, chat. Are you ready for the summer? It's summer. It's legitimately.
Francesca
Ramsey. Thank you. Francesca Lay. She's
I mean, almost like literally
TikTok. And when that's her. And when iDubbbz said his bullshit. Oh, let me phrase it. When iDubbbz said his apology and other people were like, iDubbbz don't apologize, she made a point to talk about how, like, y'all don't understand what their standpoint was like at the time. I don't know if she's so 4 years.
Yeah,
is that Hasan's TikTok going off again?
That space was so awful. Like,
I mean, obviously, ice coffee would be good.
I'm not.
Wait, I've got some ice. Just a second.
I wasn't even there. Like I was.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like my hair's all messy.
A lot of people had a personal journey as like they also got sucked into that space and then they escaped it or moved on from it or demonstrated personal growth. But back then, I definitely was in the fucking crosshairs of that shit. I mean, I'll give you an example right here. Let's look up the Young Turks, Jordan Peterson, Hasan Piker, transphobic, right? Because look, I mean, here. I made a video sarcastically titled, Jordan Peterson is not a conservative transphobe. And this video came out 4 years ago. Well, even more than that. But yeah, okay. It was almost 5 years ago, December 30th, 2018. I wrote this video and I made this video. It has 2.9 thousand likes, 146,000 views. I can't see the dislikes.
You have like 20 different Canvas shorts.
Oh,
damn.
I'm pretty sure that the dislikes greatly outnumber.
RIP to the dislike button.
Yeah.
Fuck the dislike.
And
I mean,
generally,
see someone fizz in the.
Generally, when it gets too hot for me, you'll see me like in my sports bra more and more. I don't know if it's quite sports bra weather.
That says 6.1K dislikes. If we look at it. If we look at the comments, and these are 1 month ago, obviously, which is why they're going to be greatly different. But if you look at the fucking top comments, okay, from, I love to see the intellectuals come out in the TYT comment section. I said 4 years ago. It's amazing how mischaracterized this man gets. Whatever you think about him, he said repeatedly when asked, he'll use the pronoun he, she. Like, back then, it was very obvious that he was transphobic, but people just refused to recognize that he was. And people were going fucking crazy over it. Like they anytime anyone said anything like this, they would get absolutely ripped up to shreds. Yeah. And
wait, anytime somebody said anything, oh God, see, he's not gonna. It's not clear. I think what he right, because here's the deal: the video is clickbaited. Jordan Peterson is not a reactionary transphobe or something like that, right? Not a conservative transphobe. And there were literally people that were being like, no, he's like middle of the road. He's a professor. He's very educated. He's not a transphobe. He just believes that like the transgender agenda has gone too far and forcing people to say the right pronouns and throwing them in jail if they right. You know, he was fear mongering about Bill C-16 was going to put people in jail for misgendering people.
The reason why I'm showing this is not to be like, look how fucking right I was even 5 years ago.
It is funny to see how Peterson has completely validated every unfair attack that.
But yeah, he's clickbaiting with the opposite thing, and I mean, I guess that is to like get the audience in that is gonna be like, that's gonna agree with that and be like, yeah, that's right, Jordan Peterson is not a transphobe, Jordan Peterson is good, and bring them in and be like, actually, he kind of is.
Left has made about him in the last like year, and all his fans just went quiet. Like nobody's came forward and been like,
yeah. but even then, this is 5 years ago, and he was still like, you know, this is him. This is him at like a Turning Point USA conference. You know what I mean? Where he was like a keynote speaker, and people were still refusing to recognize that. And it just like, it sucked because back then everyone was always like, oh, you're a piece of shit. You're a soy libtard. You're attacking this like profoundly beautiful centrist mind who only has the best intentions and like wants what's best for society. He's an intellectual. Who the fuck are you?
Even back then he was making comments like the bell curve and saying that black people are less intelligent because of their genes. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you could find clips of him. Like, I mean, I guess what it, God, the classic defense of Jordan Peterson for anybody saying, you know, he's kind of a reactionary is that you haven't watched his entire lecture. You're taking him out of context, or even like that. Yeah, he said that, but he also said lots of good things, and you're not talking about any of the good things that he said. And like I've watched, but like I don't know if it would be people that would just like tune in for, because like some of the Peterson fans, like, right, they become Peterson fans because they run across some piece of content that's like inspirational. Really, what he is like live, laugh, learn for dude bros. That's what Jordan Peterson is. He is the you know, he's the eat, pray, love for dude bros, right? Of like, you know, you just encouraging somebody that might be depressed, and you know, if you're depressed, maybe cleaning up your room, making your bed, you know, like, you know, some of that advice could come in handy. And if you come across Jordan Peterson's inspirational content and then you go and do those things and your life is better, you're going to think he's a genius. You're going to thank him for that. And you're going to be like, yes, this is like, and then you want to defend that. Like, you don't want to see the negative side of that. Maybe you didn't see the transphobic clip. Maybe you didn't see any of that stuff. You want this guy, you need this guy to be good because you attribute him as being responsible for the thing that you actually did for yourself, which, you know, kind of sad, right? They want a daddy. Yeah, they want exactly. I let her have her. Wait, were we talking about the grandma clip? Oh yeah, if you come across the grandma clip where his Jordan Peterson, of all the people on the internet, I have never heard anyone do more like weird dream analysis content than Jordan Peterson. So Manup is referring to the clip about Jordan Peterson's grandmother, where he dreams that his grandmother is like being a little bit forward, like, right, a little like his grandmom's kind of like, you know, being inappropriate sexually to him, and you know, you know, he's a little, you know, he's kind of bothered by it, but at the end of the dream, it's like, I just let her, you know, have her way, not like that, but just like it indulged, you know, her, you know, weirdness, right? But the other weird piece, and if you haven't seen this yet, it's on my YouTube channel, right? I've got a video about Jordan Peterson talking to like one of his friends, and this friend has a dream about Jordan Peterson where Jordan Peterson is some kind of like some kind of Appalachian leprechaun that is trying to get him to indulge in like family member on there's a lot of family on family, like, you know, right? A lot. I don't want to say the wrong word and get YouTube pissed off at me when this goes up on YouTube. But you know the thing, if two family members do something together that normally family members wouldn't do together, right? That's what the dream is about. Like, it's another dream about, and there's just this running theme of like, of that particular thing that rhymes with, it rhymes with pincest, I guess. Yeah, what are you doing, Step Streamer? Inzest chew us. Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying.
So, and then I didn't have a base of support, but now I do.
Yeah.
Some of which who
but this is
used to be
double-edged sword.
fans of Jordan Peterson. So that's what keeps me going. That, and also the top of the hour ad breaks, which I forgot to run. If you no longer want to see those ads, you can subscribe for $5 or free with Twitch Prime, or by getting gifted sub. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Okay, let's continue.
Cool. Do we keep
Gift subsessed. Yes, there we go.
talking?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay,
because most people are subscribers anyway, so they don't really,
So I want to spin back to LA being trash, except for one thing that is going to segue into something I really
Well,
want
this
to talk.
sucks.
Oh my god, Zara, thank you. Thank you for the gift sub to Paul Squall. Paul Squall, you just got saved from the top of the hour ad break and the bottom of the hour ad break and every ad break in between, of which there are none. But if there were any, you would be saved from those as well, as will you if you become a sub.
Because you're only seeing the worst. Like LA's
There, I
only
beat you
good
to
when
it.
the weather is
Fuck
good.
is the sun though?
Yeah, LA's only good when the weather's good, and LA's weather's been shit this year, like insane. It's like Seattle.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah, it has been kind of shit this
I left
year.
the South, right? And we got on the plane, a 4-hour ride with a 7 and a 10-year-old, and we made it. And we wake up the next morning, and I'm like, why hasn't the sun gotten here?
SoCal in general.
I came here.
I have a gift for your kids, by the way. I don't know if you'll appreciate it or take them.
As long as it's not some of this nicotine gum, we don't have to talk about
No,
The nicotine gum.
it might be
Chat.
worse. I don't know.
I have never tried nicotine gum, but I think that I would hate it, right? I have a weird reaction to nicotine, and it's probably a good thing too, right? Because like I remember being an edgy teen and hating my parents and wanting to smoke, and like finding like a pack of cigarettes that somebody had thrown out the window of their car because they had gotten like they sat on the soft pack or something like that, you know what I mean, when the cigarettes get broken. And I was like, so I was like taking these half cigarettes and lighting them, and I didn't even realize you're supposed to inhale. Like I was all good until I had to inhale, and then when I inhaled it, this reaction happened where I got dizzy and it was unpleasant and I was miserable, right? Tobacco, nicotine does not do good stuff for me. It does bad stuff for me. So luckily for me, I never got addicted to it, probably because of that. The weather is super weird. Yeah, I agree. Rather live in a shoebox apartment in NYC than a mansion in LA. I mean, I don't know. The East Coast has got its own drawbacks. Okay, I gotta say that I don't like the humidity, and I don't like the bugs. Okay, those are two things about the East Coast that I do not like. Now, granted, there's also scorpions, in California, and probably, I don't know, are there more spiders? There's probably about the same amount of spiders either place, right? You're gonna get spiders wherever you go, but bugs, all kinds of bugs, all kinds of mosquitoes, all kinds of little tiny bugs that just like they swarm around you and they go into your eye, and you got a bug in your eye, and you're like, you're trying to talk to somebody and you got a bug in your eye, you're trying to get it out of your eye, and you're like, do they understand that there's a bug in my eye? I'm not just being weird to be weird, right? They got scorpions in Georgia? Really? Oh my god, I've never did not know that. Maybe I'm just a square, but smoking anything is just not fun. Yeah. Well, no, I'm actually the same thing. Like I used to smoke something, when I was an undergrad, right? But at some point, I figured out that you do not have to. Combustion is not necessary. Let's just say that there are other ways to enjoy your gummy bears, right? Mutant bugs you've seen in Georgia are wild. Yeah. There's like giant dragon. Well, I don't think the dragonflies bite you, but there's horseflies. Horseflies will bite you. Gnats are everywhere. No, they're not. They're not everywhere. But you hold your hand above your head and they go to the highest thing. Oh, okay. That's a neat trick. Traffic. Yeah. Okay. So the one thing that sucks about LA, I would say, is the lack of good, useful public transit. Texas has no infrastructure. California tries to build infrastructure, but it's never finished. Yeah, there are other places that have better subways. So much better. Exactly. That's the one thing I miss about Paris, right? Is the underground. Big East Coast cities have better public transit. That's true. That is true. There aren't a lot of bugs in general in the LA area. Like the worst thing are mosquitoes. Yeah, and only in certain places, right? Germany has pretty good public transit compared to the, yeah, I would, cat ears. What's up, Mousebreaker? Good to see you. Mousebreaker has requested that I put on some cat ears. And I am happy to oblige.
What your perspective is, but it's Mr. Beast.
Oh God.
He always we're managed by the same management company, and they always send me like his new shit. So I have like boxes of Nerf guns.
Oh my God, no, mulching and landscaping in southern Georgia and grabbing scorpions by accident. Oh wow. Wait a minute. Are they in the mulch bags or are they like on the ground? Germany, France, pretty much anywhere in Europe has better transit. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the United States, it's literally, like, from what I understand, it's the auto lobbies, right? They sell a lot of cars in the United States, and there's a reason for that. As in most places in the country, it's the only way to get around, right? Because they have defeated any efforts to, you know, to create public transit. Cats are cool because they don't work for the cops. That's true. And certain dogs, too. Like, certain dogs will work against the cops. In fact, it's been documented. We call those dogs... is it Mata Pacos? Accidentally stumbling into fire ants! Yo, fire ants are no joke. Fire ants are serious. Fire ants are... They're not playing around. My dogs hate the cops.
These branded Nerf guns and boxes of Feastables chocolate.
I'm going to drag you as soon as I leave for doing this to me.
I'm just saying. Well, now that it's on camera, now that they know that I offered it, you will be the bad guy.
I'm not allowing them to watch it. I have not allowed them to watch anything I do. Partially because we have a weird thing with like YouTube with my kids because of like let me not throw too much shade at Mr. Beast because Mr. Beast is also like Nebula Gang to an extent.
Oh, you were mulching the area. Okay, I see. You're taking stuff and turning it into mulch, not spreading mulch on an area.
But you know, Mr. Beast critiques at all, right? But I want to say this thing about LA. Yo, I've seen one police car since I've gotten here.
Yeah, well, it depends on what neighborhoods you're in. That's why.
But so it still blows my fucking mind because I'm in.
You will not get a ticket. You will not get a moving violation. You get a parking ticket 100%, but it is relatively hard to get a like speeding ticket in the fucking greater Los Angeles area.
I didn't see police in San Diego. Excuse me. Now, like, but no, like, I'm saying this because like I frequent the nicer areas of Atlanta, and I did not like. It really like hit me hard last night when I heard a police siren, and I tapped my wife, and I was like, "Yo, have we heard police at all since we?"
Well, it's also crime is legal.
Look, explain what's going on because
we made crime legal here, so we voted.
I mean, surely we could do that in.
Wait, Forsyth County? Where's that in Georgia?
Yeah,
but no, like what? How is that? Because we got the Cop City shit happening in Atlanta.
Yeah,
they just raided.
Oh, is it around?
An anarchist organization and charged with all kinds of wild shit. They've got terrorism charges on like 30 people now.
Yeah, they're really weaponizing.
Oh yeah, you were spreading mulch in the area from a truckload. Yeah, so like, is it like that's what I'm wondering? Is it did the scorpions come in the mulch or like? All the police are defunded in LA. Yeah, according to Jink Huger and Anna Kasparian, there's no cops in
RICO charges down there for like suspiciously only black adjacent causes.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation.
Where's the Fannie Willis RICO?
Training canine units is cruelty. Agreed.
When is that coming?
Oh, we're gonna get back to hogs. Actually, I'm gonna get back to hogs. But I gotta speak to this though. I literally can't leave my house in Atlanta. I live in a middle class gentrifying neighborhood, right? So like there's an excuse for police to be around because white gentrifiers call the cops all the time going around to black people. But if I go to almost any neighborhood in Atlanta on the north side, which is where there's less crime, generally speaking, when there's less people.
Yeah, the LAPD is still known for their white supremacist gangs
of color, generally speaking, there's still a million police. And it was normal to me to like see 5 or 6 police officers going anywhere in Atlanta to see 5 or 6 patrol cars at any given ride. And when it hit me that was normal to me when I got here, I almost...
Forsyth is the rich white county around Atlanta. It was racist and segregated so bad. They had the largest Confederate monument in the world, and they expelled all black people in 1900.
almost got sad because I was like, yo, I have...
Oh, is that the Confederate? It's like the Confederate Mount Rushmore?
Police being an ever-present... Like, when we talk about... I don't know who I was talking to Skip Intro about propaganda in Spider-Man. And, you know, the argument that the right will use about police is that if you flood an area with police, crime goes down, which is only true through like the most tenuous reach of an argument, in that if I'm standing next to my son, he might not pick his nose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, from an authoritative standpoint, it air quotes works. But you get like the way my son's, like my 10-year-old acts around police is, it would break your heart because he knows what the police mean in general, but especially in Atlanta. And so,
in Las Vegas, you see a lot of cops. They have to show up in threes.
The fact that was a normal reflex of
Stone Mountain,
like energy in me, that the police are just always around. So stay on code as much as possible. And to get here and I hear one siren in 72 hours, it was like, holy shit. I will trade y'all.
You got used to a police state is what you're saying.
Basically.
Yeah.
And how it happens. And that's the crazy thing about like the Cop City shit. There's still 40% of the people are still voting yay on Cop City. They don't understand what it could be, is the thing that breaks my heart. They don't have a clue that you don't have to have police on every corner to feel safe. And we still don't feel safe.
Yeah, and a lot of the reason, the things that contribute to crime, the things that really contribute to misery in a community are things that could be ameliorated by spending some of the money that gets spent on the militarization of the cops. And it's not Stone Mountain, Cop City. Let's get it straight. Stone Mountain, Cop City, two different things. Maybe in the similar spirit, but two different things. Cop City is basically like a military compound for cops. It is a military like training center for cops, not just the cops in the area, but cops from like all around the region. And it's a huge. They're cutting down a park that people enjoy. They're taking away something that makes the neighborhood more livable and replacing it with a giant militarized cop compound. The big Zionist organization had its national conference once at Stone Mountain. Wow.
I'm all over Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
It's almost like it's completely unmarried to police presence and has a lot more to do with socioeconomic conditions. But, what do I know? It's not like Los Angeles is like wealthier overall either. It's just that there's still plenty of proximity to wealth from those who don't have it, which is usually and crime manifests as a consequence of your material conditions, obviously.
Right.
So that is usually what crime in the way that we understand it occurs. But like I said, I think the reason why you don't see a lot of cops around.
Oh, okay. So some of the instructors are like IDF people.
Places, which you're right. I do
for Cop City.
That for granted. I do forget. Is maybe it's because it's like more spread out too than other places, because LA is so vast.
Possibly, but it's still, I don't know. I'd have to. I'm gonna legit do some. It sparked a video idea, so I'm gonna do some research and figure it out, because like we got off we rode through, I guess like South LA on the way here, and then like we got off because we had to do a bathroom break on Alvarado. I don't know. Probably a place it's a place looking around. It's probably a place you wouldn't go pretty often. But like even still, it doesn't feel like even like median income neighborhoods in Atlanta. It doesn't feel like the places where Young Slime Life supposedly, like, it's so funny. Like people talk about YSL and them getting the RICO charge for what they've been doing off Cleveland Avenue. I don't live too far from Cleveland Avenue. Like a lot of people I know, there's Chick-fil-A's and like it's not. The way that Atlanta is,
it's not the way DJ Academics presents it.
Oh my fucking God! I'm not gonna drag DJ.
Wait, he said he's a fan of mine and Tim Pool, so
yeah, clearly. Yeah, no, like Cleveland Avenue, like there's literally like if this street is Cleveland Avenue.
Wait, he legit said he's a fan of Hasan and Tim Pool.
Cleveland Avenue from here to here is where YSL was probably doing most of their dirt, like this one section. And if you keep going this way, you hit other neighborhoods with completely different lifestyles and energies, and same thing going this way, right? If you take the $90 million they're doing for Cop City and you put that money into this area, you transform this area within a decade. You completely transform it. Or, you know, Coca-Cola, Nike, Lockheed Martin, Chick-fil-A, goddamn, whomever, can, you know, build a police training facility that's going to just be kind of like a boondoggle for them to get, you know, food contracts, you know, bring in the Israeli police force, bring in New York, bring in y'all.
That's what they need. The American police force is not ruthless enough. They need a refresher course on,
of course,
on how to kill 14-year-olds, you know, from a distance.
Last shout out that we can do I'm gonna do some Hogwarts. I've never done the actual reaction shit. Shout out to, let me make sure I get this right. So
you can place your bets in chat as to like how long it takes them to get to the Hogwatch.
I did a stream a couple of weeks ago.
There's numbers on this, by the way. Apparently, police employment, officers per capita rates for U.S. cities. What is this? Governing calculations.
Oh God, I forgot what I did.
New York has
42.3
per 10K population. Los Angeles has 24. Chicago has 44 almost.
I wonder where's Atlanta?
Let's see.
35.
Where did I skip it?
Keep going. Down.
Oh, right there, 35.
Yeah,
so yeah, it's measurably and demonstrably larger police presence.
Yeah, and you feel it, or you don't feel it. You go fucking numb to it, which is like genuinely, I'm getting upset because I'm thinking about, like, you would just say New York was what, 43?
Yeah, I mean New York, you immediately see it.
We're 7%.
Chicago is like this. Actually, I've never been to Chicago.
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay. So I've never been to Chicago, but like that is unsurprising.
So that makes sense, but it's all in one spot. Atlanta is maybe an eighth the size of Chicago, maybe 1/16 the size of New York, and like and literally nobody lives in the city. It's just the metro area, you know. So it's just I'm a fucking god.
Yeah,
not like send that. Well, I'm gonna get this from you because I'm gonna come back to this because it's so, and we still have, and Atlanta's
these are old too. This is from 2014.
Atlanta's is the black mecca. All the shit I'm talking about, we haven't had a white mayor since the 70s. We have probably more black millionaires and business owners and academics, whatever, per capita than any other city in the country, if not world. We have everything you're supposed to have, going back to this identity politics conversation. We have everything you're supposed to have to ensure that type of shit does not happen. But what Atlanta does have is a lot of fucking corporate power. Everybody's got a headquarters there. Everybody cuts checks. Everybody has, and then we have a combination of corporate power, and if you go 30 miles outside of Atlanta, you're basically going 50 years back in time.
Yeah.
So like the greater political structure of the state wants what you just saw. And so like, and like when people, you know, it's a weird, you know, I'm trying to balance this shit, right? Because these are issues I've dealt with, but the politics I'm new to, because you have such a black bourgeoisie class in Atlanta, you feel like, you know, it is what it is. We're doing good. We're getting money. You know, black excellence. Obama's in president, etc. You throw in a Morehouse mayor from Morehouse College who just got booed a couple of months ago at his alma mater over Cop City shit, and this shit just kind of goes. It just goes because these politics going further left than the Democrats have not been allowed to exist on the main stage, and people get their nice house, and they say, all right, that's it. I got mine, you get yours. You know what I mean? Shout out to M. Marty, whomever that went to Clark. You know, we got to get it in there. We got to get in there. Don't worry about that. Killer Mike. Oh my fucking.
I was about to say, speaking of black bourgeoisie and their shifting perspective on black capitalism as an emancipatory factor. What do you think about Killer Mike? And I think that it kind of almost ties back to Clarence Thomas's perspective and how it's shifted over the years as his politics have become more flushed out.
What's scary about Killer Mike? So here's the thing. I don't know if you watched my last two videos. They're over 2.5 hours altogether.
No, I have not.
I've got some shorts in there. But no, so my last two videos were explicitly about the rant I just went on, which is like re-engaging black people as a whole with the politics of the left, which is something that we've always had, but we've been disabused of, you know, for the last 60, 70 years. And so like Clarence Thomas is an early defector. Right. Yeah. And so we weren't worrying about Clarence Thomas way back when the Anita. Like I'll never forget like hearing about the Anita Hill shit.
That's not good.
And being confused that my mother wasn't supporting the black man on TV because that was like, you know, second nature. Like black man on TV.
Yeah.
We in there. My mother's like, she didn't give me details. Obviously, I was like 10 or some shit. But like I'm like okay, right. But the thing is, a Killer Mike can come and speak that language and present that energy. He can name drop Kwame Ture and Frantz Fanon and Fred Hampton. And like name drop them. There's a video name drop them in support of capitalism.
Yeah.
And it's like, Mike, what the fuck? And like, you've heard Mike, throw some centrist shit in there before, but he has very clearly been adopting not just a centrist, a right-wing ethos, not just being pro-capitalism, but like the political energy that he's been presenting. He supported.
I'm gonna take her out real quick, but while you still keep going.
That's fine. Well, why?
Has everybody seen the video? Like, there was a video actually involving Destiny that where he talks about Killer Mike. This was when he was trying to get Destiny to donate. If Destiny wanted to bring him on to talk to, which it sounded like, his audience, they wanted some blood sports, and FD Signifier leveraged that need that community felt to have FD debate Destiny to try to get a donation to stop Cop City out of Destiny. Of course, Destiny then turned around and donated to the cops. Killer Mike was middle class, so it makes sense that he fell into this capitalist ideology. What pains me is when I see people using Thomas Sowell's Why Africa Failed and all the other white supremacist shit that he put out. I hate hearing it be regurgitated from so many people who want to be seen as moderate black people, and I don't know.
I wanted to finish this shout out to Come here, Kaya. So let me take over the Hasan stream for a second. Hasan, when's the last time a black person's been on your stream?
I don't know. I haven't had any guests on in a while, bro.
Okay. Well, so as I hold this space for a second.
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
JPEG. I think I remember the JPEG Mafia stream. That was a while ago. In Ethan's debate with Pearl, she cites Thomas Sowell in explaining her comments of how some people, black people, oh my god. If you actually read Sowell comment, I don't see how you can possibly, so she's even, yeah. Literally, Destiny bet $10,000 on, that it wasn't going to, wait. Yeah, like that there's gonna be no, well, wait, what was he? Oh my god, I don't even want to know. Like, he's gross. Destiny's just like a gross person. You know what I'm gonna do? This is not the world to get. To get the sniffer egg in. Basically, you need like warm oceans, but when you have only warm oceans, then there's like no food, so cancel and just do a default world, I guess. Nebraska Steve is truly a repugnant human being. True.
Was supposed to come on, but she didn't make the trek out here, so it was only Law overruled on his own. I don't know if you've seen her stuff.
Yeah. Ole is part of the crew. Let me get this massager going again real quick. So they're short. All right, so real quick, shout out to on a completely unrelated note, I did a stream a couple of weeks ago, y'all. It is on my side channel, Signified B-Sides, and I had as a guest Aran Anal, who is a South Asian streamer. People call him the Indian Hasan, which is, I don't know how that works, to be honest with you. Either way, he brought to my attention that we talked about on stream the genocide in Sri Lanka that happened in our lifetime, like in 2009. And I told him I would mention that. Ooh, shit. I told him I would make sure I mentioned that while I was here. So please, if you can, go check that out on my B-Sides channel. You can also follow him on Twitter. Ooh, shit. Because bringing it full circle, the whole point of the role of a me or Hasan.
You think that all these right-wingers that love to play Minecraft would understand what you just said about warm oceans? Like, my guy, I mean, this is all like germane to the new update, basically. My guy, self-improvement is always good, but when you don't look at the systemic factors causing poverty for black people, or Destiny, as Destiny says, victimhood, It's pointless since there is a glass ceiling. You were going to have, wait, who on stream? Destiny? Not Destiny. Oh, somebody that FD Signifier mentioned.
Perspective is the pulpit, which is literally like kind of what we're in right now, and bringing attention to shit that won't get attention from media outlets that are not interested in certain types of stories.
Aaron.
Okay. Somebody.
Oh, yeah,
shout out to shit's moving too fast. Shout out to whoever just said subscribe to Arana now in the chat.
Aran.
The details on that story are not for the weak of heart, so please check that out. And he's just really trying to bring more attention to it because that situation is such a dire situation that it's kind of just a start. While I'm here, while we still waiting, shout out to Turb who just dropped a new video. Dropped 2 videos this week. He shouldn't do that, but yeah, get them shits in. Shout out to John Lewis who dropped this week. Shout out to who am I missing? Let me check my shit. Oh, watch my new shit. Which just dropped this Monday. Shout out to Black Power Media who just interviewed Cornel West this morning. Who else? Oh, shout out to Think Peace Tribe who just dropped some shit.
Oh yeah, so an update on the Cornel West situation. When we last left that situation, we were looking at Chris Hedges, who I was under the impression Chris Hedges was a People's Party proponent. But actually, it sounds like Chris Hedges, maybe Brianna Joy Gray, I guess, was there too, and Shama Sawant were giving a talk, and Chris Hedges was talking about that he was in discussions with Cornel West to suggest the Green Party rather than the People's Party, and that happened. Cornel is no longer running with the People's Party, now running with the Green Party. I love FT Signifier using Hasan's platform to platform real leftists.
Shout out to all my motherfuckers. I gotta make
this
sure.
This is the hardest thing to do, right? This is the hardest thing to do, is to, when you give, like, it doesn't sound like it, right? But like, here's the problem, right? You got a whole bunch of people that have been there for you, and you want to make sure to give every single one of them credit. You got a whole bunch of people that are doing good things, projects that you want to support. You don't want to miss, like, right? It's easy to give shout outs to, like, just give a few shout outs, right? The difficulty is to not accidentally forget, like, one person, because that one person that you forget, they're going to notice, right? They're going to be watching you, and they're going to notice when you don't say their name, so... It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard because there's, if you're a grateful person, certainly if you're a conscious person, there's a lot of shout outs that you want to give.
I don't know how other folks do when they get here, but my chat don't be this live, and I don't know how to turn this off. Okay, good. So yeah, we got to make sure people get the numbers and they need. And I think that's it. I think oh no, we were talking about Killer Mike's ass.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of. I don't know what to make of Mike. His story is kind of murky because Mike's dad is a cop. I'm sure that's well known.
Yeah.
Mike went to Morehouse, but he dropped out, according to him, to sell drugs. Mike is clearly very intelligent, and Mike's been overtly an agitator. Like Mike was the first rapper, I think, to call out Obama. Right, which may not seem like a big deal now, but at the time was a huge deal. No, he might have been after Lupe, but Lupe was already like, on Lupe the edge of like discourse at the time.
Yeah,
and so like you get those details, right? He's got a whole song called Reagan. You know what I mean? Where he's breaking shit down. He's bringing political ethos to hip hop mainstream, kind of, which is like probably the reason why he wasn't as mainstream, that hadn't been seen since like the mid '90s with Public Enemy and shit. And then, he starts running jewels, he gets really popular, and he keeps that energy. Got fucking songs called Kill Your Masters.
Yeah.
And then, this is, I said that. It's Killer Mike 2013, Kill Your Masters, 2023, Pull Your Pants Up. And like, I don't know what happened. I think it's just money. That's the thing that scares me about.
You think so? It's not like he got more successful since then, though.
I think he had. I think Run the Jewel, like, you don't understand, you may not understand how broke rappers are.
No, I do. I have rapper friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another. 24K Golden was the last guest I had on.
No clue who that
He's not broke though.
Okay. He's hopefully not with like 24K Golden.
He's doing fine.
But yes, I can't really call it with Mike because Mike earned credibility among a radical population of fandom for a reason, because he said the right shit. And then it started in 2020 when, you know, I gave him a pass for like telling people to stop rioting, because like, what are you supposed to do in front of like the police and the mayor on TV? You can't say, you know, burn the motherfucker to the ground, even if you're Killer Mike. Right?
Well, he also, this actually came, I know I had Trey on a month ago. It was with Golden was on as well. Anyway, listen.
That was not meant to like be a debate.
Yeah, I know. Everyone is literally like this is a very white community, as you already know. So immediately, especially a very white community that speaks on you know, police brutality or reparations, black emancipation all the time. Oftentimes the conversation devolves into like, name all of your black friends, and I hate that, because it's like it's not a position that's going to make you look normal or good, which is what I try to instill upon people all the time, which is just be normal. Like, be a normal person. Treat other people like they're normal humans and not like black first and then a human being.
That's the problem with the online left. A big problem that's been cropping up recently, as like, you know, cornbread soup has become a thing, is like, for, you know, because like going back to Cat Black, Francesca, etc., a lot of them were kind of like sidelined, right, or niched, and then like black leftist YouTubers have been around since that time, but it's been almost predominantly dominated by black women, for black women audiences, and academic audiences. And so when I popped up and I purposely started to find other black men, you know, cis hetero.
Yeah, finally, we need some fucking men in here. You know what I mean? What is this? What is this? Yeah, hit it. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
But no, for real though, like bringing them in changed the energy, and then suddenly, if you are a debate guy that brings up white supremacists to debate them every 6 weeks, with 6 days, to prove your anti-racism clout, and we say, no, you're kind of a clown, that creates like a conflict, because blackness is it's a commerce in this space. Proving that you have black credibility with black people is a way, or credibility with anti-racism is a economic boon. And so like now it becomes like the running meme for me now is, I am king of the blacks. So if I pop up in your video, then you're one of the good ones, which is not true. If one, there's no such thing as a good one. You're all bad in my mind. I just want to be very clear about this for the chat. But also, I'm not the end all be all for those discussions. In fact, I'm mid compared to a lot of my peers who, you know, who haven't hired editors yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be normal is no. I have to say, keep doing that, because what we need more of, we need less white pundits talking about black issues without black people present, and more white pundits talking explicitly to white people about white shit and like doing white shit better. We don't need fuck white people. We don't need that. That's still, as much as I would like to say that, and as much as I say that when the cameras aren't on me, that is still reactionary. We more so need like,
yeah, this is you're actually basically addressing something that I say all the time, but I usually talk about this to the trans community whenever I'm having this discussion. When I talk about transphobia, I'm not talking to trans people. This is something I've said so many times. Like, you're trans. You already know how fucking dog shit it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to transphobic people who could potentially change their minds. And the same goes for every issue I speak of. When I speak on black issues, I'm not speaking to black people, even though because of the predominantly white-centric, white supremacist public education structure in America, there might be black chatters that learn new things when they come in here about black history in general. Because there's always people who are like,
this shit's not allowed.
Like the move bombing is a great example. It's like, anytime I bring it up, there's like, what the fuck, I'm black. I had no idea that was a real thing that happened in America in, like, you know, not that long ago. But yeah, when I speak on black,
yeah, this is what trans people want Hasan to speak for you that way. They're like, look, he's not the only one who does it though, right? But there's like a paternalism in the way that he's speaking to trans people, right? And that shit is really not appreciated. That is straight up alienating. I remember meeting some white people, and they straight up asked me if it's okay for... No! God damn! Are you serious? Okay, yeah, that confirms that I can't take white people anywhere. They straight up asked you for the N-word pass. Wow, those are... I mean... I would love to say I don't know people like that, but I know I do. I know I do. Damn. They're gonna talk about that later. I think they're gonna mention that, like, right, the idea of the pass. There's a reason I watch trans streamers to learn about trans stuff and not Hasan. Yeah, he's speaking to trans people. That is the problem, right? Yeah, and it's the same thing with Vosh, where the incentive is that like trans people in his audience, like the feeling that you get is you need to shut up and sit down and not scare the normies. And
issues.
that's just not how you build a movement.
It's not to black people, it's to white people. It's
like you don't want to be saying that to any marginalized group, especially not one that's under the gun of the conservative industrial complex, the way that trans people are.
White people understand from a, I guess, like, you know, if you have any kind of preconceived notions or biases, when you hear a white person say these things, it's, you know, it's more impactful.
It's why I do, like, when I dabble in my manosphere shit, it's never for women in the audience. And it also means I speak a specific cadence of language. But I also,
but like, I mean, as much as possible, like, I don't think that Hasan and FD are saying the same thing here, right? Like, right, the analog to FD for the manosphere stuff would be like, hey, women, don't pay any attention to what I say when I'm dealing with manosphere stuff, because I'm going to be misogynistic to get these dudes on my side, right? But understand that it's not real. It's just me speaking to them. It's not meant for you. It's not for your consent. That's what Hasan is saying. Like, just don't make any comments about, that's kind of fucked up what you said. Right. Somebody calls you on, like, bringing on Christian Walker to debate, right? Christian Walker, Herschel Walker's son, big conservative social media influencer, right? And like going to take a piss while he takes over and says bullshit about trans people, right? You were right to get criticized for that, right? And what's sad is that the person that did the criticism has like apologized. Catboy Collector, you got nothing to apologize for, okay? You got no, and if you're in a community that asks you to do that, if you're in a community where the response to like, hey, like, don't let transphobes go off while you're like pissing, like that, Christian Walker is not somebody to bring on as like a real life guest for that particular reason, right? And your answer is suck my dick. You failed. You failed so hard, and you never fucking apologize for that shit because your community didn't make you. They made Catboy Collector apologize. That is pathetic. That is pathetic.
We'll have black women.
God, look, we're trying to do Hasan positivity. I'm glad that he had on FD Signifier. They're bringing up some important things. Like I said, I don't disagree with Hasan on everything. I think in general, like I place him in a tier way above people like Xander Hall, Destiny, Vosh, etc. Right, but at the same time, like this is somebody that was super positive on Keffels, even past the fact where Keffels was harming her own community, right? Don't let me like give you the impression that because I generally like a lot of what Hasan does that I approve of everything. I notice when stuff like that happens, right? I'm not mad about it. I don't hate his guts. I'm not, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. And I know it's the worst thing you can say to somebody because it sounds like now I'm being maternalistic, maybe to Hasan, which would be inappropriate. But no, I'm just being real, right? Vosh is his own category below absolute zero. Yeah,
to fill in those gaps. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like it's two discourses. There's the ideas, right, which is solid, and then there's the economy. And so, like going back to like the white left, liberals and leftists have been arguing with other white liberals and leftists about black people and trans people for like clout points and content for at least 6-7 years. And it's like, I'm like, the whole reason why I think we've made a ripple is it's like, oh, there's actually black people having these conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, at first I was really excited, but then I got frustrated about that because it was like, all right, listen, y'all, I'm not going to be teaching white people about racism with every other video. Y'all get like one video every 3 to 6 months. And then after that, I was like, what, y'all not getting any more.
You can see that like the what Hasan is doing and what FD Signifier is doing is very different, right? I don't know. It's so weird how Hasan just jumps in there and it's like there's some points, and like I get it, 8-hour stream, right? It's hard to focus, right? But there's some points where I'm just like, are you listening? Because you and him are not the same. Like you're not doing, like he's talking about like, that although he wants to do some of that work, right? He has to like limit it because he also wants to he also has that responsibility to to the Black community, and you know, he's seen other people garner audiences that are mostly white, and he's not trying to do that, right? They're doing two very different things in this regard, right? Hasan is a million times better than Vosh, but yeah, has blind spots, can be frustrating. True. Hasan is the same virus as V and TYT have. He can't be wrong, and he will bend reality to be right. Yeah, and his parasocial fandom. Like, look, I'm not hating on the Hasan TWT people. I actually like some of you. I actually appreciate some of you. I retweet some of you, right? But you got like, I don't think you're doing him any favor when you let him get away with this shit. Cat Black is had a similar awakening in regards to her content. Yeah, look. I guess you could say I have. I can somewhat relate to this, right? The audience that I garnered back when I was going on debate streams, debate panels, and stuff like that. Back when I was doing content with people like Demon Mama, is very different than the one that I have now, right? The core of my audience wasn't trans people. They were, you know, debate people who wanted to have that one. I was the cool trans streamer that they could follow, and part of them feeling comfortable with me was due to like sort of my non-confrontational approach, right? It's not like there's other streamers who have a similar approach. But in terms of going to a battle, you know, which I didn't realize I was doing when I just asked Dylan to do a really basic thing, in terms of going to battle against a douchebag like Dylan Burns, right? It would have been a lot more helpful if my community had been, and there was a core, you know, trans like element to my community, and they absolutely had my back, and they absolutely got me through that, right? But yeah, just in general, like any support that I had from cis people just absolutely blew away like chaff in the wind.
I'm talking about Black Panther, both the movie and the actual movement, until further notice. I was supposed to do a white rapper video this time last year.
He's in Ukraine again. Okay,
and it's now a running meme in my community that is never happened. White rapper video.
There's always new one, like Lil Mabu or whatever. You see that?
Is that the one that was
the drill rapper who's like super rich? I think he's like a hedge fund kid who like graduated from a fucking private school recently.
Yeah, I saw that.
I follow all that stuff. It's
please do.
I love white rappers.
And you do the little Mabu takedown. That is for Hasan to do. The little Mabu takedown. If I talk about little Mabu, smack the shit out of me. Even when I do my white rapper video, which is definitely happening this year.
Yeah, here. Well, now you're gonna have to see it.
Oh, it is this motherfucker. He looks like an anime film.
He missed that Bandor East barbecue.
Get it? Because blue and red equals purple. So I blew her back out when I left her on red. Don't let that go over your head.
It's just like apparently his dad owns a record label or something. So he's like, is he hanging out with Lil Durk? Jesus Christ.
Listen, the haters are less relevant than they've ever been. So I'm a happy lady.
Oh, fuck. Oh, let me not say shit. It's
I don't know. This is the white rapper that Hasan was talking about that just graduated from.
I didn't even know this existed. I'm sorry.
From private school.
I did not know that this existed.
So in the top line is bro 18 casually friends with Dirk. No, he is fucking not. Bro rich, cut a check.
100%.
That is what happens there. And this has happened forever. And this is like, we could talk forever about this, but I don't want to drop too much of this.
There's one word you can't say.
I can't say the N word.
No, you can't.
I can't say the C word.
Yeah,
that is.
I just,
this is broaching territory where that might be deployed. I'm just saying.
Right.
So you can't say that. I will get banned.
Word. We have developed within the Black community a list of slurs.
I have a pass. I don't know where it is. But
who the fuck gave you a pass?
Nabisco, as a matter of fact. Wheat thins.
Who was? They gave you.
He's talking about the pass to say the C word, not the N word.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was
not an N word.
Okay, I'm like, we don't do that. That is a myth.
No, that's not.
Anybody that is giving you an N word, white people in the chat, there's no such thing as an N word pass.
Yeah, Nabisco.
Nobody is coming to the cookout. The cookout is shut down until socialism.
Nabisco gave me the N word pass.
Oh my fucking god!
Wait, why aren't there villagers? There's a village.
No,
that's hilarious.
What are you doing out here?
Yeah,
you don't have a job yet.
That like a like a multinational,
You don't have a job.
like a
Wait, you
major
do have a
corporation,
job. You will
Gave the
felt
left
give
host the
me
voter.
a
like
brick.
felt comfortable making a
or
joke
you
about
will
it,
give
and there's still
me
motherfuckers. There's still
emeralds.
motherfuckers online who are like, Hasan is the most racist man
There we
in the
go.
19th century.
What you know, the only real racism, the racism that truly matters in America right now, is the racism against white people.
Yeah, well,
Which,
no,
of
we're
which
in
I've
agreement.
been responsible for in the last couple of weeks.
Me too. I'm doing my very best.
My anti-miscegenation era.
Oh
according to
God.
Twitter.
Oh God.
no.
Well, see, this
Yeah.
is
Do you know about
like-
this?
I don't even. Oh God.
I'm not gonna get into it because that
I
was the
forgot
last
about
one.
this.
I
This
I've
is the-
said it maybe
God.
twice.
This is the last thing that the debate bros went after FD Signifier about, right? They do go after him, as much as they can, right? But the most recent thing was that he made a comment about the idea that the black representation, when it comes in the form of a mixed race couple, seems a lot easier for the industry, the movie industry to tolerate than black representation in terms of a black couple. And he basically got accused of being like anti-miscegenation for that. Wait, that is some neat stuff. What is that? What is that? I can buy bricks from you? I don't really need bricks though. It's a mason. Okay. I've never seen these blocks before. I'm gonna take your stuff though. This is what we gotta do whenever we come to a village. We gotta take everybody's stuff. It's like a temple or something. Yeah, I feel like they've added some structures to this game for sure.
Since then, I let my wife take over Twitter after that.
Oh,
shit
no,
happened. 'Cause I was
don't.
Like, you know what? I cannot take like dealing with these people, and I can't stop myself from engaging. So I need to take the tools out of my hands because I'm never gonna make another video about
It's
it.
terracotta.
Right? I have too
Yeah.
many other good ideas, but I will keep tweeting if people keep talking
Wait,
crazy.
did they just update
And so
the
I was like, all right, I gotta get it out of my hands because
the
Here's the
block?
thing, you got in the discourse again though.
Yeah, yeah,
You
but
got involved in the discourse. You didn't just like let it fly and then
I
just
feel like the attacks on FD Signifier are escalating the more influential he gets. I can't wait until he surpasses Destiny in subs, right?
go. All right, not addressing it,
yeah,
which is really hard. It's
It
really
is.
really hard.
It's damn near impossible because, and I'm like no shade, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah,
And
I feel that way too.
And people and I'm like, you said it in the fucking video, or you said it in real life. I felt so stupid because it was the realest shit anybody said to me. He was like, I put a record scratch there in the moment.
Yeah,
You
oh.
were like, I said, I tried to explain to my wife why insert debate pervert here is getting on my nerves, and she's like, dude, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And,
Yeah.
and you cut me off and said, hey, your wife is right. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Why did I need Hasan to tell me that shit?
I mean, well, I do have a lot of experience with that. To
True,
be fair,
true.
I have many years of experience on that front.
Right.
Where like I have a barometer for that where I'm like, could I explain this to like a normal relative of mine that is like out of touch with online culture?
Right.
And if the answer is like abso-fucking-lutely not, then I try to very aggressively move away from it, even though I'm the most stubborn motherfucker, and I have to like, I have to come back and keep fighting it for no reason.
Yeah. That's what it was. A bunch of white people explaining to me racism against black people and or interracial couples, and like it was the most bizarre. And I was like, all right, let me just pull out some data and like here's a video and like just send. And it was like, oh nope, that was stupid. And now I'm done with Twitter forever. So no more tweets to me. I'm still lurking, of course, but like
Donald Glover's coming for you.
Donald Glover's mad at me.
Wait, is he? I was just.
I don't know.
It's
So I'm starting to make,
glazed, glazed terracotta. That's what it makes it look like that. I see.
I made my first Hollywood friend, my first real friend outside of YouTube. No, you're my first white friend. And so I'm like, okay, because I was supposed to do an anti-insert person's name here, I'm not gonna say, video when I hit 500K, and then before I got to like 300K, I started thinking about
Is it Vosh? Are we talking about Vosh?
I don't want to do anything in entertainment outside of YouTube. I maybe shouldn't talk shit about people that I'm gonna like need to contract me for writing or some shit. So like I'm working on.
No, is he, maybe
I'm
he's
working on
not.
redeveloping. I'm chilling the fuck out. So we're gonna.
It's always good.
Always.
You also have to remember, like, you have an audience of very different people, and like, do you really want to introduce this person to your audience? You know what I mean?
And that's why I fucked up.
That's how I think about it. Which is why I always like, I don't engage in fights when I know that like someone is very clearly rage farming.
Yeah.
And they're doing it deliberately. And there's so many examples of this because I did it for so long that I'm just like, yeah, no, it's not interesting. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna fucking take the bait. I'll only do it if it's worthwhile.
That's where I fucked up, and that's where, because I'm getting cocky.
Sometimes I feel like I want to warn my audience against certain people, but they're not like, you know, large streamers, right? They're like, you know, smaller streamers that, yeah, there are certain streamers that will kind of switch up. You know how Kelly Cadigan's doing the thing where she was like, she was, I don't know what she was like when she started out, but she did the right-wing grifting thing for a while. Now she's trying to do the center-left grifting or something like that, right? There are people that just constantly shift back and forth, right? And depending on basically what audience that they're talking to, they'll, you know, try to appear like that audience. Like, they'll try to come to like an intersectional leftist, you know, without, and they know how to talk to us. They know how to not put us off and be like, oh, by the way, did you know that no comment chick is like really bad? Here's all this like bad stuff about no comment chick. If you look at it, it's, you know, there's not really any substance there, but a lot of people are just, you know, kind of nervous about, you know, who they're dealing with, and, you know, we'll just react out of kind of a reflex to that sort of thing. But yeah, if you were to look up some of these people, you'd find out that their pedigree is anything but intersectional leftists, right? They are, you know, destiny orbiters or Voshites or the like, but they always want to have a finger in everybody's pie, so that if they want to hurt somebody, right, that they can appear like, you know, I'm one of you, I'm like you, right? And, you know, for people who don't know any better, you know. But at the same time, I know these are the same kind of people that thrive on that sort of drama, that want that sort of drama, that would love to have an extended fight with me, because their people, their actual people hate my guts just by virtue of me being an intersectional leftist. So I generally don't talk about those people unless I really need to. Unless they pop up in places that really should know better about them. But yeah, that's a real conundrum for a content creator, you know, whether you feed the drama frogs or not. Kelly Cadigan straight up said that she lied about in her apology after every single white leftist neoliberal. Yo, they did. They were like, come and join the Vosh community. The Vosh people are like all over her, right? Like, there wasn't even like, and I didn't even see any like negative comments in that thread. It was all like, oh yeah, we understand. We're not like those other leftists. Ha 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 ha. Come and join us, right? Yeah, that's and I mean, like, unfortunately, Kelly Cadigan is not the only alt-trans grifter out there, right? There are people on Twitch politics that are, you know, not really friends of the VOD or anything, but people that are attached to other communities. But yeah, I mean, like, for these people that are alt trans, like, they, you know, they'll either do things like, you know, one person I'm thinking of constantly nukes their Twitter, right? They'll write all these like ridiculous things, you know, like all the transphobic things, like they're, you know, trans people who will attack other trans people with straight up transphobia, right? Like, talk about like Demon Mama's looks, or, you know, like draw her in a like masculinizing way in order to shame her, and then they'll delete everything on their Twitter and act like, you know, it never happened. But when they don't have the ability to get to the communities where they want to hurt somebody, they'll tend to make friends with people who are in those communities. They'll tend to try to find people that are maybe like low information intersectional leftists, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that. You know, like we said before, when FD first encountered Hasan, he was tempted to categorize Hasan as being a debate bro streamer. And, you know, as much as Hasan might have some characteristics like that, he's not Vosh, he's not Xander Hall. It would be a mistake to think of him like that. But yeah, I have had to save like other intersectional leftist streamers who don't really spend a lot of time in these communities from doing content with people that you know they're like, you know, after just being attacked by Vosh in his community, they're wanting to turn around and do an event with Chud Logic, and I have to be like, hey, that's not somebody you want to be. That's not somebody you can really make friends with either. That's, you know. If you've got problems with Vosh, you've really got problems with Chud Logic, so.
Because I have, like, I started out, my first handful of videos go viral, and I'm just pure BreadTube. I'm BreadTube's new black guy. So
and
all my fans
that's as much vague posting drama as you're going to get from me today.
Right. All of them. Every single last one. And, like, I didn't like that at all. Not just because of, like, you know, obviously being a black supremacist, but because, an anti-white racist, but because it was like, they're going to, I feel tokenized, right? I was like, I'm getting a lot of messages and emails and questions asking me about racism that I've been like, you know, maybe 15 years ago, I may have answered that question for you. Right now, I'm just about to play mad. I'm not about to explain.
Rock and roll, that's how I lost control. What's up, Ararak?
And then I started getting money. And then I really felt uncomfortable because now I'm in, are you familiar with the movie Bamboozled?
No.
Okay. Well, long story short, now I'm in a space where I know I am selling my blackness.
Yeah.
There's an element, what Lil Durk just did.
I didn't say it.
I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, he just offered his clout and street cred to Lil Mabu.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. And
Yeah.
so, like, white people in
What's
America
up, Jules?
will pay for access to blackness in certain elements, and not all of it, just like a certain packaged, commodified version.
And it's not even always, in my opinion, it's not even always like ill-intent.
No, they're just fucking excited.
Yeah, they want to learn, they want to understand, and I think that's where it comes from too. I think the reason why I get criticized a lot about, like, oh, he's too comfortable with speaking on certain issues that he knows nothing about, is because I think that there is like a stereotype of like a person who speaks on social justice who definitely does say shit that's like completely out of pocket or has like legitimate disagreements that are born out of like implicit biases or or being socially developed into white supremacist fundamentals. So I think that's why like a lot of people go, oh, he's doing that whenever I like say something.
So there's that, but like, again, because I made the joke about being like the first black person on the show, which I'm sure is not. But now that you've been christened okay by the king of the blacks, I need not be the last black leftist that not maybe comes to the house, but like, well, you've actually done a couple of think piece. Shout out Think Piece Tribe. You've actually reacted to his stuff a couple of times. But it's also dangerous because when you reacted to T1J's joint positively, the fans still ran through.
Yeah.
But either way, as you do that more,
Wait,
it will be just generally
ran through Hasan or ran through T1J? Was it Hasan? Like, I'm not sure what he meant.
because I don't like.
Because I could see.
It is just not good to be.
I could definitely see, like, right. This was T1J did a unabashedly critical video of Hasan, and I believe Hasan watched it and like agreed somewhat with the criticisms, right? Wasn't mad about it or anything like that. And it's kind of sad to think that like Hasan's fans had to go at T1J over that.
Such a prominent voice. I'm talking about myself. It's not good that I'm such a prominent black voice in this space right now. It's not good for me personally, just my like health and like the way I carry that type of responsibility. But also we need, Lil Bill. We need, Khadijah and Bo. We need Cat Black, like to kill two birds. You get to hash out issues about trans issues and black issues at the same time. We need. Shout out to Overthrow, who wants to come up and converse with you like that. Combined with what you already do is not just like gonna shield you, but it's also the best way to do it because now the take is refined by the explicit discourse of a person who's actually in the spot. Like I haven't made a video about. I'm probably gonna make my first overt trans issues video later this year, and I've already got like people I'm gonna talk to for it. And the reason why I made a video about Dave Chappelle, and I put several trans women in it, but I made that because I really want to talk about Dave Chappelle, right? And so I was like, all right, we can do this, and it's cool. But when I get to like an explicit trans women video, I could easily make 5 of those videos. They're all hit up 500,000 views within a month. I'll make all the money and I'll be the greatest ally in the world because of how shitty the reality is to trans women. But if I do that without bringing Soul Buddy on to have a conversation, right, who's a small creator, or bringing...
And look, that's something that FD Signifier does well on, that like really well on, right? When he talks about trans stuff, it's at the very least informed by having talked to trans people. Hasan, look, like I said, he's not bad. He's not, you know, a chud. He's definitely like well-intentioned and stuff. But the way that he talks to trans people, you can tell why he's not able to have that kind of relationship with trans creators like FD does, right? Because whenever I hear FD talk about trans people, I don't get this like, you know, paternalistic bullshit from him, right? That I get from Hasan. And like, you know, like as much as Hasan has trans fans, you know, he's definitely, you know, able to see like how, you know, trans people in chat like react to things. I don't feel like he's cultivated the same kind of relationships that FD has that inform his view, and that's why I value in general like what FD Signifier has to say about trans issues a lot more than Hasan's, which is hit or miss, right? And you know, to give it credit, it is hit sometimes.
Like a Jesse Gender, and of course maybe I'll talk to, you know, a bigger trans creator. Then
like, right, can you imagine Hasan trying to talk to Jesse Gender after that whole like Hogwarts Legacy thing? Like, that's a bridge that he didn't need to burn. And I'm not saying that it's burned. Jesse Gender, like, is incredibly nice, incredibly forgiving, incredibly understanding. And, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she would agree to talk to Hasan. But it's more likely that Hasan would be nervous about talking to her because, you know, he's, you know, talked all this shit. And now, you know, here's an actual person that's espousing the viewpoint that you strawmanned, right? Yeah, it's gonna be awkward. That's why you shouldn't act like that in the first place. Like, right, you shouldn't get yourself into that position where, yeah, I'm pretty sure Jessie would, but that's because of Jesse Gender, right? Like that's because of who she is. Like a lot of, you know, it just makes it harder. And yeah, like, you know, he hasn't invited her on. He hasn't asked her to, you know, talk. I mean, that would have been a great thing to do. Like, right, if you're gonna weigh in on the Hogwarts Legacy discourse, maybe talk to somebody that's actually like a trans person who has concerns about that, rather than just strawmanning the heck out of us. Did Hasan? No. So to my knowledge, wait, am I right about this? I don't think he did. I don't think he criticized Jesse Gender. Though definitely not the way that he definitely didn't come after her the way that Keffels and Vosh and the rest of those people did, right? He just like basically she was the one the probably the most prominent trans creator to give voice to trans people's issues with Hogwarts Legacy, and he strawmanned like trans people's issues with Hogwarts Legacy as like that we had unrealistic expectations, which had he just watched Jesse Gender's video, had he just watched her video, not even, you know, wouldn't even had to, I mean, like, it would have been great if he really should have brought her on though, before that stuff, right? And then tell us what your take is, right? How about that? That's a good practice. And I feel like that's the kind of thing that I feel like FD has that abundance of caution when it comes to how he's interacting with other marginalized communities that Hasan kind of lacks.
It's the fucked up part about this job is you're still in an attention economy.
Did he really call her a rad lib? No way, God. And
so when I'm bringing attention to myself to address someone else's issues, I have to share some of that capital. That's personal capital. That's like, you know, clout. I have to share that with those folks enough. Shit. At least me personally. The whole reason Cornbread Tube was a thing is I was like, y'all not about to give me all this fucking money to talk to these white people, and I'm not gonna put other niggas on. Like I can't not do.
Like, did he actually watch her video?
Where I'm from, maybe it's because I'm old and I don't get what I was supposed to do. But like other motherfuckers, and you've done that, right? Like,
I mean, I try to, but it's oftentimes just usually it's laziness. Like if something is within proximity, then like I'll definitely do it. But if it's not, if it's out of reach, like I don't really usually go out of my way in many circumstances. But then also the other is like I do have a lot of fucking.
I mean, you
freaks
could be
in
right
me.
too,
Like,
though.
There's a lot of.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, because I don't want like random smaller content creators to like, you know, get the ire of like one collaborating with me because like you're big enough that it doesn't really matter and you have your own like base of haters as well. Some of it's shared, I suspect, but like. If I'm bringing on like a random person, if I'm bringing on a random content creator, I worry that like they're gonna get fucking ripped apart. Like Nick is not green is what I was thinking of. He's pretty big on his own. He's pretty sizable on his own, right? Like, and the first time he ever got like straight up fucking eviscerated on Twitter was after he came onto this broadcast and we like reacted to funny TikToks and like the most insane fandoms got together to be like these two fucking pieces of shit. That hate streamers, people that love, you know, J-pop and want to be idols themselves, and like even though they're Westoids, people that fucking Nazis, groypers, lolly fans, like.
Oh my god, I vaguely remember that. Does anybody remember what we're talking about? Like, they watched these wannabe idols, like the wannabe idol group that was like they were like Americans and they were white. They want to be like K-pop idols, right? And I think they actually spoke like it seemed like they, you know, were fluent enough to sing in Korean and stuff like that. But you know, and like, look, Hasan and Nick laughed, but it wasn't that kind of like cringe, like lolcowing random streamer check. I like Jane. Wait. Did anybody see what I'm talking about? Anybody familiar with this? I didn't realize that Nick Green is a streamer and a YouTuber who I actually like. I actually like. I've watched a little bit of what Nick Green does. It's not as explicitly political as what I do, but I appreciate Nick Green. He's definitely taken some stands that he didn't have to on some really important issues, right? I am small streamer. Did I miss something?
Any and every community that I've had something to say about basically got together and were fucking destroying this dude. Now, he's also large enough that it's not the biggest issue, but I don't want to fucking put that on. And he's like, well, I guess Nick is.
Is Nick white?
I don't think he's. I mean, he's like white passing, kind of. I don't know. I don't know what he is, but I don't give a shit. But regardless,
Hasan is never beating the small head accusations.
Like, he's
sorry.
No.
Buffy, do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see that clip? I did see the clip going around. I just didn't realize that Nick had, like, you know, gotten attacked for that. It sounds like by like some pretty gross people, like some. Like, honestly, the like lolicons are always looking to take shots at leftist streamers, right? It's a lolicon community is pretty right wing, at least on YouTube. But as I remember, like, they were just watching the video of this like, you know, kind of like aspirant, let's just say aspirant instead of wannabe. Maybe like it's better for me to say aspirant, aspiring, you know, K-pop group, and they were laughing, but they weren't, you know, ridiculing them. They were not like, you know, saying that this is like I don't know, like racist for them to do, or like I don't know what they were criticized for. I can imagine what they were criticized for, but I don't think they were really I mean, it sounds like it was no one good that was coming after Nick over this. Apparently the small face head stuff is a stereotype about Greek and people of Catalonia, which, yeah, Turkey. Sorry, Anatolia, not Catalonia. At least in Mexico, it is seen as a defining feature, but in a more neutral way.
I just like legitimately don't know. I think he's Filipino maybe. He might be like half Filipino. But yeah, he's spicy white. So but regardless, like he also didn't have like open avenues of attack, like being black, for example, or being trans, or being a woman, or being
what
lesbian, gay, ace. That
open
sort of
avenues
so
of
attack.
Like,
that's one thing I'm scared of with this. Like I popped up with Jessie Gender on the stream, and it was on her stream, thankfully, so it wasn't that bad. But like every time I post a trans creator in my community tab, it gets the level of toxicity goes up like tenfold. So I get that point, and it's kind of like
so that's the double-edged sword, and that's part of the reason why I don't do it. But I won't lie, like it's mostly
shout out to
racism.
Sean the Black. Okay,
Yeah, well, Sean the Black is like a OG Hasan head.
A word.
Yeah,
Sean the Black also,
he's a 30-month subscriber of mine.
He's also made hour-long video essays.
Yeah, I know. I tell him not to do it as well.
Keep doing it, Sean. You're good at it, but also probably more stream actually, because that way. So Sean the Black, I'm coming on yours next. I got to go to Sean the Black. And,
yeah, he's great.
Man, other brother, I can't use his name.
always reminds me of the bad place.
Let's laugh at some Republicans.
The bad place I was in the aughts, anime internet fandom when 4chan was in full swing and Moe was extremely popular.
Yeah,
I've done enough serious stuff. My kids.
Wait, chat. I gotta ask something though. Am I Moe?
Click on that shit real quick. What time did I get here?
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely been an hour though, because at the top of the hour there's another 3-minute ad break, and I remember.
Oh my
running it
god,
last
that
time we were here.
reminds me. At the top of our hour, there's also a 1.5 minute ad break, right? And at the bottom of the hour, there's another 1.5 minute ad break. It's kind of like the same total time that Hasan has, but split up differently. And it's the kind of thing that will suck you right out of your immersion, suck you right out of enjoying the stream. The only way to fix that, the only way to get out of that, is if you have $5 of your own to spend and buy a Twitch sub, get a little Persona 2 icon by your name. That will save you from the ad break. The other thing that'll save you from the ad break is if you have Amazon Prime, and you can link that up to your Twitch, and it gives you a free sub to the streamer of your choice. Hopefully that's me, or if you're lucky enough to to benefit from somebody giving out gift subs. Now, are we are double-edged swords? Wait. Oh yeah, right. MOE stands for Ministry of Education. So yeah, I'm very much educative. Okay, like maybe infotainment at least. I think NCC's fairly MOE. Like the glass is really like, if I had boobs that would be even better. But
track of time. So it's definitely been an hour plus, maybe like an hour and a half, as a matter of fact.
Okay, let's. I'm doing good. I got the massage.
That would increase the MOE factor.
10 gifted and Blast Save with a 5 gifted. Here's the 3-minute ad break now. What was I gonna show you? So,
and that's one thing. Actually, I'm gonna get away from.
No. Go ahead.
I do love.
We can talk. We can talk shop. It's fine. We don't have to look at Hogwatch at all. Because I kind of wanted to look at the Andrew Tate stuff too, but afterwards.
Indeed.
This is why see, look, like immediately trying to fucking. Trying to start shit.
This is when I said there's an overabundance of
depictions of black-white relationships in media, because it allows for corporations to virtue signal wokeness, white liberal consumers by presenting veneer of progressivism. It is an extension of rainbow capitalism.
And surely that means I am a anti-miscegenation, because
that's fucked up.
Because
listen, I've been saying I'm a supporter of Dr. Umar, so I don't know.
Shout out to Dr. Umar. It's fucked up, like, because Dr. Umar I will give him this. His take on Spider-Man made me fearful of how they were going to handle the interracial relationship in that movie, because the way I made this argument.
What did he say on Spider-Man?
Just because he don't want the snow bunnies. It's Dr. Umar. Exactly what you think he said.
I'm just saying. Right. I saw how he was behaving at that New Jersey mall on that fateful afternoon.
When he held the one white woman's hand. Right. So like interracial relationships.
I stay away from temptation.
I mean, temptation stays away from me. Thankfully. Basically, they just always do interracial relationships. Like, imagine if every marginalized community here's representation was the only version of it was the most palatable version for white liberals.
Yeah,
that's what interracial relationships are in the media. And I have some of my best friends are interracial relationships, right?
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, it still spells some level of progress that like that's happening, but it obviously but we've moved beyond it.
Right. And so the depiction of their relationship was actually, I think, an excellent version, because it showed, even though without actually explicitly being about a black and white dichotomy, it showed, one, why they were connected, and two, why there's conflict happens in some interracial relationships. where a white person doesn't understand the nature of existing in a black body in America. So in Spider-Man's case, it was being the anomaly of spoilers. Spider-Man spoilers. In Miles's case, it was being the anomaly of Spider-Man. And so
isn't it also written by a white dude?
Moe and wait, what am I missing? Moe and NCC Moe Dosu. Wait, Moe Desu? Yeah, there was a section of the fandom that tried to champion manliness, usually through mecha anime. Well, that's wild. Really? Old shonen like Fist of the North Star? Okay, yeah, I mean, like, that's pretty masculine. That's pretty hyper masculine. Even JoJo, in certain ways, can be pretty hyper masculine. What is that? What's going on? What's going on? What the hell? The only thing that kind of mediates JoJo is the fact that it's also very gay and very fashion forward. I don't know. Those bubbles gave you air underwater. Yeah, they also suck you down though, and if you stand on those magma blocks, you take damage. So the trick is to sneak. If you sneak over those magma blocks, then you will not take damage.
It's at least one. It's no, the way that movie worked.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the original Miles Morales. I think
the original. Like, I have never read too much of that.
Oh,
but I have
JoJo was kind of like a soft parody of Fist of the North Star when it started. Well, wait, because he was doing stuff kind of like that, like is it Gorgeous Irene kind of like that?
Enough that the actual
and
comic
and like Bao and all that stuff
is
Moe
very,
Kawaii Sugoi
is not nearly as radically
Sugoi
inclined
indeed.
as the movie tried, at Disney,
yeah.
Hollywood wokeness, of course, but like I think there's a line
written by a white dude with black children. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, he might. Okay,
that's cool. I mean, like, I would hope that he would want that, but he also said a phrase
I'm not seeing
in the
any
comic, like, I don't want to be
war
known as
motion.
Black Spider-Man, which is kind of a red flag when you kind of like I get the context of wanting to bring the Mr. B.
Wait, that's a
Oh, they saw it. You're so cooked.
Message from my wife.
I got a bunch of.
Oh my
I
God.
got boxes of Feastables and a Mr. Beast Nerf gun. There's only one though.
I'm stealing something from you. I'm taking this with me. What was I saying? Anyway, I don't even want to get into that shit. The point is, fuck Twitter and fuck my anti-miscegenation haters.
Oh, did you see the Black Thor stat?
How many of them are
When they did
there?
that?
Oh, for Heimdall.
Oh my God! With the fucking,
Oh yes, that's
with
what
the
I'm talking
gold
about.
chains.
He's
and
like, yo, we're ripping and rapping. That's Thor. Hip hop parade. It's like
that shit was so funny.
We're just gonna
that's
beat him
the
with
whole
bread.
conversation is about black people controlling their representation.
What is he
and
holding, a
narratives and voices
chicken?
in mainstream media? And
You're dead.
By Odin's fade.
Oh, it's a Nautilus. He's got a Nautilus.
Yes, no, it was.
Right,
It's
and
so
like,
good.
when you aren't critical of that, you get these shitty depictions of blackness that we've had most of the fucking, like, literally there's black media, which Obama kind of killed, and then there's blackness in media, which it's like it's a roll of the dice of what you're gonna get. Are you gonna Get Out or Spider-Man or You People that Kenya Barris just did? You know what I'm saying? Or almost everything Kenya Barris does.
What do you think? Ooh, this is an interesting topic. What do you think about Kenya Barris?
Kenya Barris, shout out to.
He once called me handsome,
That's nice. You are handsome.
but I do have not disagreements, but I do have criticisms of his content.
Kenya Barris is every black creator worth something is trying not to end up like Kenya Barris right now, because Kenya is very successful and he did a thing, right? He made Blackish, and like the first 2 seasons I was with it because I was like, this is new, this is cool, it's like black stuff happening here. And then by the 3rd season it sets in what's happening. It's basically here is a safe black commodity for the consumption of white people. You probably said that already.
I have a friend who wrote for the show that I make fun of all the time for that reason.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, Kenya.
But I mean, get the money. I mean, don't
I'm
misunderstand
at a
me.
point where it's like get the money.
I mean, he's just a
some other
writer.
way.
He's not Kenny Barris. You know
He's
what I mean?
right.
So for me, it's like, go ahead.
And like we're not even getting to like the colorism on the show, and maybe in his I'm just saying on the show, and it's like, so that's like, and those are conversations that don't even penetrate
Like his last Netflix show was, I mean, his last Netflix movie was just like,
it was fucking horrible.
it was so
Got the
bad.
Nautilus.
It was like, not like, don't get me wrong.
See, I can't, but for the record, I normally would never say that in public, at least. You're here, so I'm like
See,
more
I'm
comfortable.
giving you.
See, this is why I'm too comfortable. I'm too comfortable.
Too comfortable. So what did his last movie do, right? It tried to have a conversation. It was cringy on purpose. And so I gave it like a pass for that because I think it knew it was
wait,
cringy.
no, I don't have
But, like,
the
longer I
oh
sat
my
with it, I was
God.
like, so like you got a whole Netflix
I don't actually
contract,
have the
and this was the move you decided you were gonna
I need that brush.
You were gonna have you were gonna
somebody
give Eddie
attacking me?
Murphy.
Yes, they
You were
are.
gonna-
Yes,
you were
they
gonna-
are.
like,
Yes.
the whole
Oh
concept
my
of culture. You
God.
would have Eddie Murphy.
He had, that would have been the
That's
sickest
not
character.
good.
If he was a real black nationalist.
Yes,
like,
it was
complexity.
so, it was
Good thing I didn't have anything with me. Robotech led me to Macross, which led me to Ninja Scroll, which led me to Wicked City, which nobody should ever watch. I've never seen that. Kenshiro isn't just the hero because he can hit people and make them explode. He helps and heals people, so he's kind of like a crazy diamond in there too. My interest in anime was never that much in that stuff. I got into anime through Ranma 1/2 and Yorosei Yatsura. Haven't watched it either, but I don't think it has as toxic masculinity as those bozos wanted to portray. These are the same people though that will tell you that JoJo is not gay. That there's JoJo is in no way gay, and they're completely wrong about that. Right? Just as wrong as thinking that you will get through the top of the hour ad break or the bottom of the hour ad break without being served an ad. You absolutely will be served an ad at either of those times unless you're able to beat that by subbing up yourself, just like David Martinez. You can say it's high time I chromed the fuck up, and you can sub the fuck up. That's one way that you can get with $5 to sub the fuck up. You can use your Amazon Prime integrated with Twitch in order to get a free sub to give to the streamer of your choice. Hopefully that's me. Or if you're lucky enough, you could get given a community sub or a gift sub.
so good. It was so
And I need to
unique.
pee.
It-
I'm
and it
gonna
would've been
pull a
so
Hasan.
great, and then it wasn't. It was just like, it was just
What is
left.
he-
I'm gonna pull a Hasan, except instead of an empty chair, I got an empty trampoline. Okay. Even Araki said in interviews that manga was intentionally, plays with gender. Araki loves fashion, right? Araki is not a chud, and the chuds would love to claim him, but that would be wrong. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you here. Wait, maybe with this one. Yeah, I'll leave you here with the empty trampoline for just a second while I go pee, and I will be right back just in time for you to get the top of the hour ad break, so this time you won't miss anything. Okay.
Lowest hanging fruit.
It was left flat on purpose, I think, because like if it actually was more complex, it would be terrifying to like a
white
broader
liberals.
audience, which is white
Which is the
liberals.
whole fucking point. Like you have him, he starts the movie out, his first scene, he has Fred Hampton was murdered on his chest, which is a radical, it's, oh my fucking God. It's the
We're talking about Kenya Barris's new
latest, not
his latest Netflix movie with Jonah Hill.
and I can't remember the sister's name.
Yeah.
Which is
You People is what it's called.
Somebody put it in the chat.
It was very feel good. It was like,
Yeah,
it was
but,
very like
there's a complex conversation about commodifying blackness. Commodifying blackness explicitly for a white audience. What is your range? What is your comfort zone? Are you Kendrick? I don't think anybody doesn't respect how Kendrick engages with his blackness, right? Kendrick definitely has a predominantly white audience because he's too big to not have that.
Yeah.
But Kendrick's art is very clearly informed by his black experience, and it is uncompromising in what he does with his art. So Kendrick gets like 10 stars, right? 5 stars to Kendrick. You go down a couple of steps and you get to like, chat, who name some black entertainers you all like, chat, because I know you all will give it to me. So you go a couple steps low, you get Donald Glover. Okay. Mm-hmm. Donald Glover is still really good with
I think so.
explaining like a black ethos and a black aesthetic, and goes back and forth between saying, hey, white people, let me explain blackness to you. And then also, hey, here's some stuff about the black experience. And just genuinely just for that, right? Like literally every other season of Atlanta does that, right? And so
definitely a very interesting evolution from like doing internet skits.
Doing Derek comedy.
Yeah,
are you OG?
yeah.
Because I was an OG Donald Glover. People
Was
think I
it
hate
like,
Donald
ooh,
Glover.
all right.
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
The Derek comedy shit.
Yeah, people don't even know that shit. So and then you get to the lowest level, and you're probably at like, damn, I don't want to do this to Kenya Barris. He's not, because I don't think Kenya Barris is cynical. I'll say this. Kenya Barris.
I don't think Kenya Barris is the lowest level. I think there's what are those? There's the dudes
Drake.
that That's a good one.
There you go. I'm sorry. How did I
But
miss
it wasn't
this?
even. I wasn't even gonna say
It's
that.
not Tyler Perry.
No, there's definitely lower levels than that. There's
Yeah,
the
true.
dudes on TikTok that
Dudes
do
on
like
TikTok,
the
the
dancing
muscle
while
dance
they're
guy.
eating. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's definitely at the lowest rung of
Right.
content where it's like explicitly for racist white people to
Right,
laugh at.
Right. So I say it's not Tyler Perry, even though I have a lot of critiques on Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry has no interest in a white audience. He's just incredibly manipulative and like pandering to a specific black audience that keeps giving him money. And now he owns BET from what I heard, which is, I'm not even gonna talk to you about that. I'm gonna say that for like me and
I was not aware.
Ola Renati are gonna have to have a conversation about that. I refuse to.
Drake and Dave
I don't know
Chappelle
anything
being
about BET. I
the.
only know like the Leprechaun movie
Yeah, see,
because I didn't grow up here.
I thought you were from California.
No, I grew up in Turkey.
Okay, I didn't know.
I came to America in 2013. So,
Are you serious?
Yeah. So that's part of the reason why, like, despite the fact that I have no accent and I have a pretty good understanding of like American culture, there's like massive blind spots, and that's one of them.
That blows my mind. So you've been here for just a decade.
Yeah.
Look at you doing the American dream.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
That's wild shit.
Yeah, I did it. Why can't you?
Why can't you?
Exactly.
Pull yourselves up by the bootstraps.
God, if I did commentary like that, I'd be popping. My life would be so much easier.
Freaking, damn, this is going too fast. I want to like talk shit to the chat.
No death threats. No, it's better. Trust me. It's better that you're not.
Oh, okay, good.
Not a bad thing.
Somebody said Candace Owens. So I guess kinda, yeah. I guess that's where we get to the bottom. Or even worse, like Jesse Lee Peterson.
Hello.
What's up?
My brother.
Oh, okay, nice to meet you, brother. Hassan's
Murat.
brother. But
He actually has a big boy job. He builds satellites.
oh shit.
Yeah.
So he's just in here.
He's the smart one. I'm the black sheep of the family.
who makes all the money and everybody.
Unfortunately, yes. You would expect a fucking satellite building,
a literal rocket scientist.
a literal rocket scientist to be definitely way wealthier than he actually is.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's all good. What so you just getting here 10 years ago. I think I asked this earlier. What's next? Is there a next? Like, are you like how long? Like I'm talking. You know, I'm thinking about how long I got. Like, I literally need this massager. I'm going to take it from you.
You can take it.
All right. So thank you. I appreciate that. Like, because I'm old, I cannot keep doing this. I have like numbness in this hand that I used to edit. So I'm like, I have maybe 2 or 3 years of making videos like I do.
Oh my god, I know about that editing. Yeah, I get a little numb. I don't think I edit nearly as much as FD Signifier has had to. For his videos are long and involved, and they involve a lot more editing than anything that I do. But I do understand the pain, at least, right? The massager is very important. I mean, I would say that if you go to, you should get something, you know, like, right, something in a Hasan's house. You should just like claim. And it sounds like he's also already getting Mr. Beast branded Nerf guns for the kids. I don't know if his kids are interested in that, but Hasan's offered that. Apparently Hasan's content network and Mr. Beast's content network are the same, so the side benefit for Hasan is he gets lots of free Mr. Beast merch, and that's something that maybe FD might be taking back to the hotel for his kids. Take as much of it. Yeah. I would listen. I would go for the. Do you think I could take his Halo helmet? What if I like just grab his Bernie? Oh no, he's not gonna let me have Bernie. He's not gonna give me Bernie. I want that helmet though. I'm just gonna put the helmet on and walk out with it and see what happens. I would take Kaya too. Yo, some people are saying that maybe God, I don't know though. Like, is this normal? Like, so like, you know, I know puppies like have to be kind of in usually like a crate for a long time. Just in terms of what is it like the potty training that's difficult with puppies. FD said his kids are Mr. Beast fans and he doesn't feel great about that. It's like a dog napping. He would let you have Mr. Chief's hat before Bernie. Yeah, probably. I've already got some Bernie, some goodies from Bernie. Wait, till I learned that. Yeah, I mean, was it Nerf that is it Nerf? Kaya, I think it's like at least Nerf-like stuff. Puff Naffers Incorporated. Kaya is living the dream life, and I have no doubt. Yeah, other than like, well, I mean, like the dream life would be that like somebody doesn't have an 8-hour commitment, but Most dog parents do so.
Right now, left. Right after that, I have to figure out how to continue to feed myself and my kids, yada yada yada. And I'll also be like pushing 50, so I just can't imagine myself being 50 years old arguing with 20-year-old white kids on Twitter. So I think about that a lot. You have gotten way higher than me in like a shorter period of time ish. I don't know how long you've been.
Well, I mean, I've been doing commentary and writing and doing all of that on camera, especially like and in front of a prominent audience since I would say like 2014, 2015. So I've been around for a long time.
Okay. Well,
there we go.
So, but yeah, so like,
but I blew up in 2020 for sure.
Okay, so you around the same time as me. So
yeah.
But like, so are you thinking when you're my age? Like I just turned 41, so you got 9 years, and then you might die. By the way.
Yeah, I know.
Are you gonna still be?
Hey, Natalie.
In front of this the channel, looking at the chat.
I've had opportunities, even like earlier, like a couple of years ago, to make a change in my career to go in like the legacy media route that I refuse to take because I like what I do.
I would never do that.
Yeah, I love that's why I said like when you asked me how do you do this, I'm like I'm mentally ill.
Okay, so just to check with everybody on the Minecraft, like what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to find suspicious sand. I'm trying to use a brush on that suspicious sand, and that is in order to get a in order to get a sniffer egg. Once I get the sniffer egg, I can hatch the egg and I can raise a family of sniffers, and that's the goal here, right? That's the one thing out of the entire 1.2.0 Minecraft update that I'm most interested in, right? Is I gotta have those sniffers. But like I'm out here and like this is where you find suspicious sand, but you gotta have a brush in order to get the eggs out of the suspicious sand. I deserve a sniffer. Yeah, they make it hard to find. They make it hard to get. Also hard to get are these armor trims. You can find armor trims in suspicious sand and suspicious gravel. Yeah, they should call it the sus update, honestly. Like that's what I would have named it. The sus update.
This is real. I like the editorial independence that I have. I like that I don't have to take on any fucking,
fish. It's just fish.
I like that I don't have to take on any advertisers if I don't want to. If I want to,
octopus.
I can do it.
Squid.
And I do enjoy having a sense of community. So the way I make this content, it's in many respects not very easy to recreate by others because no one wants to take on like the mental anguish.
Yeah.
That's
another thing
we have like we have very cushy lives. Ultimately, it's not like I'm fucking in the coal mines. You know what I mean? And doing backbreaking labor.
Right.
This can be backbreaking in certain instances because
but it does take like literally my wife.
Yeah.
The only thing, honestly, the only thing that I worry about with gaming while I'm reacting to content is that it does have the effect to kind of make me look from the outside like a commentary channel. And that wouldn't be a problem except for the fact of like what the commentary community is these days. I told you, at the beginning of the show, the commentary community is in the process of just like absolutely eviscerating Keffels, right? Keffels tried to play their game, tried to throw Kira chats to the wolves of the commentary community in hopes that people like Augie, RFC, Boblax, and the rest would accept her. But that gambit has failed. It has really blown up in her face. And not only is she really unable to work with anybody but Tipster at this point, but she's actively being like, I don't know, made into like a lol cow for them. So I don't know how she's gonna proceed on YouTube. That really does mess things up for her, right? It's the name, no comment check. Wait, that does make it sound like I'm a commentary channel, doesn't it? The other, wait, how much do I seem like that, right? How much do I seem like a commentary streamer? No commentary stream. See, that's the thing that I just don't want to get into that lane that Keffels was trying to get into, right? Like, I don't think that, like, given my opinions, I don't think even Tipster would be cool with me, and I don't really want to be cool with many of them either. Like there are channels, I guess you'd call, like, what, Ethan is Online as a commentary channel. I'm okay with Ethan. I think Ethan's great. Let's see who else. Danny Gonzalez. Danny Gonzalez, I love Danny's content. I guess you'd consider him a commentary channel, but like he doesn't do the like drama. Oh, it's that intersection of comment. You know what it is? That's the really toxic part, I think, right? The intersection of the commentary community and the drama community, right? Because like the tea community, I could see. I mean, I don't know. It's not my thing, but like I'm okay with, like I don't have anything against most of those people. But it's the combination of I think the intersection of the drama and the commentary communities is where like I see a lot of that toxicity. I just don't play that weird pointless surfing game they always play. Wait, the Subway Surfer? You don't want me to play Subway Surfer? That one actually looks fun, but I'd have to play it on BlueStacks, right? Shanspear. Yeah, is Shanspear considered commentary? I like Shanspear stuff.
I've gained probably 20 pounds since I've got 100,000 subscribers. I have multiple health concerns that
green
I
tea, white tea,
before the stress of this work. People that saw the drama
Earl
video saw me
Grey
have a panic attack in the middle of an interview. And then like, my wife
Wait,
is like,
what's
"Dude,
that
you're
stuff?
always on
It's
your
got
phone
bergamot. Yeah, Earl Grey is neat.
working," which is partly just like checking analytics.
It's a unique
like, keeping
taste.
up with the bullshit, reaching out to people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
My family
responding to
always
emails.
yelling at me about that.
And so like I know like even if and so let me make sure when I say I'm not gonna do legacy media, I mean like going on the news. I'm assuming is like what people want from you. Like I would never like do like normal shit, but like it's like I am. As soon as legacy media comes with a big enough check,
mean, I would go on MR.
I'm going to cut that check and then like figure out how to live off of it for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
and then do videos like every 6 months, like H Bomber guy. But I still have to say is because this is a weirdly taxing
what is his name? Curtis Connor's good too.
job in a way that people
Obviously
it's hard
Nick
for people to
Green.
understand. How like and I couldn't imagine. And that's me one video a month. Maybe I'll tweet something stupid and controversial once every 2 weeks at the Signifier versus 10-hour streams 4 or 5 days
It's
a
not
week.
Subway Surfer. I forget what it's called, but it's like your you're talking about CS:GO. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That's CS:GO. Yeah, I have no idea what is up with that game. It's some like variant of Counter-Strike, I guess. But the whole thing just looks like they're wall hacking. Doesn't it? Why are you still here, skeleton? You're a butthole. Oh, that's why you're here, because the water! You stayed out of the burning sun because of the water, and you're still here to shoot at me. Oh, come on. I must be able to, yeah. Like, I need to make some weapons. Like, I'm trying, it's like I'm trying to do a pacifist run here. Which you actually can. You actually, I saw one person beat the game as a pacifist. It's wild the way that you have to do it, though.
Hasan Piker, like,
Yeah.
I
I like it. I don't mind it. Like, it would be much nicer if everybody liked me, or at least was like charitable, or at least fucking left me alone if they hate me. You know what I mean? But I don't mind it. By the way, 7 days a week. I'm live 7 days a week. Yeah. But that's it. It's just I enjoy it. I enjoy the sense of community that I have.
Just gonna
it was almost a crutch for me, especially during COVID. I was doing 13-hour streams every day. 13, 14
I feel like that's one thing that people maybe don't know.
Because
look at this.
You know, I loved having. I never took it for
We're
granted.
friends.
I loved having a place where there were like
See my
like-minded
pet spider?
individuals that were like openly leftist, or at least willing to learn about these sorts of
chill.
concepts. Because, like I said, when I started off, it wasn't like that at all. So I never really thought that it would get to this point. And I strike I think I strike a decent balance. I have a lot of normal friends, normies,
Do
civilians.
people understand why the spider's
that
not
keep me
attacking me
grounded.
though?
I
Aww.
try to have like some semblance of
That
a
was my
personal life. It's
pet.
not, you know, immediately in front of everyone's faces. On
Isn't that CS:GO, that game where the player is like, yeah, you're like juggling a knife and doing like cool moves? Like, that's what I mean. It looks like wall hacking to me. Spider can be pal. Yeah, during the day, spiders are not aggro. It's only when they're out of the sunlight, I guess, that they're dangerous. Oh no, he's gonna kill the other spider. No, don't kill him. Don't kill the spider. No, he's gonna hit me instead. I'm gonna get yeeted. Yeah, it's because it's daytime. Some people know that, but so like I always like to mess with the people who don't. Like, why isn't the spider biting you?
On camera, I have a pretty strict like diet and workout regimen. I'm incorporating other stuff into the content I create, like with traveling and whatnot. Like I went to Japan recently. I'm going back again this upcoming week. So like I am at a point where I realize there's a lot of opportunity for me because I have all the material freedom to be able to accomplish things that I want to do. So now I can like marry that with content and do it that way.
That makes sense. I am a
also I don't have
alchemist.
So that changes things.
Yeah.
Like I haven't had.
He wants rotten flash.
I'm scared as shit about.
Sell you redstone.
Is when my kids understand that I'm a YouTuber, and they will ask me about Mr. Beast, and I will.
Can I steal your potions though?
I will avoid talking too much.
Probably
about
I told you already. He's like out of all the content creators that your kids will be watching, he's the least
problematic.
Yeah, he's like very PG. Like he's very PG.
Yeah, it
now.
is. I had a whole conversation with them about why billionaires shouldn't exist, and they teamed up on me. And so like now I'm debate brewing my kids. It's like I've really been infected by.
Yeah. Wow. They like billionaires. They're like why not?
Because they're like why not? They can help people. I'm like well, so helping people and what is happening in this content are two different things. But I will say shout out to my kids. When we were watching Spider-Man, the scene where Indian Spider-Man comes on, and he's like, "This is where the British stole all our stuff." And I nudged my son, and my son's like, "I know that. The British are evil." And I'm like, "Yes,
it's good.
Good job."
It's
and then
good.
we found out, I don't know what we just did or saw when he found out that Spain was also colonizing people.
Everybody, calm down. It's like not a spoiler. Okay, chill.
It's like
spoilers.
It's a joke. I didn't even get the joke away. But you know. So anyway. So like we're doing well, but
okay. So to get a brush, I gotta get a feather, and like I really don't want to kill any chickens, right? I don't like to kill any animals in Minecraft. I don't even like to kill spiders when they're like not hostile. Like I just don't ever attack mobs that aren't hostile. And when I'm like mining and a bat gets in the way and I end up hitting it, I feel really bad. Or if I accidentally hit a villager or something like that, right? I feel really bad.
Like the kids thing changes things because like I think about that a lot. I think about if one thing if I didn't have any kids, it was just me and my wife, right? Or if I was single.
So
and like I dropped
like one place I can get the feathers from is a shipwreck, but I didn't see any shipwrecks, right? I guess that's what I should do is go around looking for a shipwreck. Try not to like lose my spot.
In the middle of editing a video, you know, it's a interesting Twitter thread, right?
Oh wait, but I also don't want to lose my place in time because we just had the. It feels like we just had the top of the hour ad break. Looks like now we're 10 minutes out from the bottom of the hour ad break. Same sort of deal. You will still be sucked into it. You will still have your immersion ruined by the ad break, and there's nothing that I can do about it. There is something, however, that you can do about it, and that is get yourself a Twitch sub for my channel. That will get you out of the ad break. If you have an Amazon Prime, you've already got a sub that you can use just by integrating Amazon Prime with your Twitch, and that gives you a free sub to use on the streamer of your choice, which hopefully is me. Or if you can get lucky enough, you might actually be gifted a sub. Some people have today. Those are streamers. Those are people who've been chatting, right? So in other words, if you're lurking, might be a good time to pop up and see if you can get lucky. This is like just like Daft Punk, right?
But like and I have black boys, and and there's like a level.
Cat visits nightclub and kebab shop in 140-mile round trip with strangers. I'm gonna resist the urge, right?
And the way you have to look at
chickens are friends.
Children,
ducks.
Black boys in particular,
I call them ducks, though. Don't they kind of look like ducks?
Racism and white supremacy targets black boys is unique. But also,
okay, you
and it's
don't
unique
sound
to black
like
women
a duck,
and black
but
queer people, black trans people, etc. Like it's unique in all these ways.
Kind of looks like a duck.
I think it's one of the least understood.
No, I'm not going to hit them
because black boys are also on some moderate levels protected and engaged with patriarchy, and so people kind of leave that veneer of patriarchy on top of black men. Like, yeah, it's just y'all just be patriarchal. It's like, patriarchy don't work for us that same way, and like I need my boys to understand that, and like I can't expect anybody to teach them that except me. So if I leave here,
let's take a look
and
here.
some debate bro fan runs up on me on the street and I don't go home,
I'm gonna write this down.
Like, it's a different level of disengagement, or more realistically, like I'm fucking debate bro fans. If I leave here and I have a heart
they don't
attack,
leave their houses.
right?
You're fine on
If
that,
I
bro.
leave here and I have a heart attack or a stroke from the stress of making content, it's a completely different
So
opportunity
we're at
structure.
negative
Like, completely different. Even though my wife has
272.
advanced degrees and can make plenty of money without me, made more money than me before I started doing YouTube, the absence of the guidance I explicitly
62,
provide,
which
not even
is
just
just the
a man
height
in the
I'm
home or father
at.
in the home, but the specific guidance
the
of
last
here's how to
thing
navigate and understand
is
the world as a young
negative
black boy.
222.
They lose that, and then all these other negative outcomes raise exponentially. And so I am never thinking about this job outside of or without thinking about when it ends, because it has to end at a certain
So
point.
now that I know
for me
how to get back
know,
to where I am,
like I'm gonna be healthy, and like I've lost, like 4 or 5. I'm trying to lose weight
we need
very
to find a
slowly, so I
shipwreck.
don't like boomerang. So I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds in the last couple of months. And I'm seeing my doctors on a regular basis.
She's bored.
She's bored. Like, get back to
Kaya gets bored.
Anyway, you get off my point though. Like, so
Yeah.
so I do get that.
Kaya does
and
get
and I
bored.
guess that's beautiful in a way. Like, I love that. All criticisms aside, you do a very important. You play a specific important role that wasn't here. As much as Sneeko and other people try to make the leftist men into soy boys. And that being bullshit, but it is explicitly valuable to present stereotypical traditional masculine images connected to these politics, because historically they've always been there.
There's also
Wait, what do you think about what he just said? Chat, do you have yeah, it looks like clearly a duck poking its tongue out, right? Yeah. Or like a duck with like maybe it's just got some kind of like kiss makeup on or something. Like it's got like metal, like a metal duck. I mean, there could be metal ducks. Wait, visits nightclub and a kebab shop? 140-mile round trip with strangers. I mean, that's kind of cool. Did the cat get a kebab? I would get a falafel, but then again, cats are obligate carnivores. Metal ducks don't float, so oh yeah, you're right. They would
part of the reason why like
have
I don't
trouble
really
floating.
get too upset when like femcells will get fucking mad at me for some shit and be like, you're a sex trafficking
Well, I mean,
child sex.
like what he was just saying is that like there's like a value in having like men who represent like traditional masculinity cannot be called soy, etc. to represent the left, right? I mean, there's a value in having like lots of leftists from diverse backgrounds. I won't argue with that. I just I mean, FD didn't say this, but I know that somebody like Vosh would exploit that and use that to justify not just his like presence on the left, even though he's what's that? What just hit me? That's not good. That's not good. That's really not good. Okay, swim. Do you know what that is? That is a drown that has a like King Triton thing, like the dude from Little Mermaid. He's got that. He broke my boat with it too. What a butthole. The cat, it kept on. It would hitchhike. It would get in people's cars.
Sex trafficker, because it's never like a normal argument.
Stop.
'Cause it's like, okay, well, it's fine. You're misguided in many ways.
I need to make a
and
weapon.
It doesn't really
don't
matter,
I?
but like I'm a counter to people like that. I'm a counter to people like the weirdos that want to take advantage of the pre-existing forms of acceptable oppression to basically
God,
make a
really?
career out of it. To use that as like a fucking rocket ship in the same way that Andrew Tate did, actually. Utilizing misogyny. Quiet, get down. I might need to take her out to pee, because this is when she gets like rowdy and then does like the angry pee, which is
The angry pea.
I can't even take care of a dog. I don't know how the fuck you.
I don't even know about
take
the
care of
angry pea
children.
yet.
That's crazy.
It's Devontae
Oh
King,
no,
like,
these
it's a
they're coming.
challenge.
They're coming.
Like,
They're
go
coming.
ahead,
They're shooting at me.
Also, you can pause
Shoot at the other dude instead. Like shoot at the zombies.
Cool. All right. Let's see. So
I hear
what
it.
is all
I
this
hear it
shit,
shooting.
man?
Shoot the zombie. Don't shoot
Oh,
me.
so it's a
Shoot the
puppy
zombie.
emoji. Okay.
Shoot the
And
zombie.
then
Yeah,
swing
yeah.
a baseball.
No, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Ah.
Did you like Spider-Man? Spider-Man was fucking amazing. It's top 10 probably all-time movie for me. Let's keep going. Have you played Fallout New Vegas before? It's good. I don't like open world games. I haven't played the new Zelda yet. I don't like open world games. Shout out CJ to X. Let's see. Oh shit. Can you touch your elbows together? Okay, all right.
Can you be traditionally masculine and not be misogynistic? Like, yeah, so here's my deal, like, right? Because, like, you know, if I talk to somebody like Vosh about this, right, he would turn it around on me and be like, oh, you just don't think that people like me can be leftist. You see somebody like me and you immediately make all these assumptions. It's like, no, Vosh, no, I don't. Okay, I don't. I know a lot of guys that are cis, white, heterosexual, and are not nearly as toxic as you are. And no, they're not like, you know, I don't know, like, but this hierarchy of like, there's soy guys and then there's like real men, like that's part of our problem, right? That's the only issue that I have. And I'm sure that, like, you know, like, it's not like I don't want, like, people should be able to exist like as themselves, as their identity, as who they feel like. I'm not trying to police that, like, right? I'm not trying to tell everybody that you got to have like at least like, you know, like 5 feminizing factors or else you're a toxic misogynist or anything like that. I just feel like I worry when we get into this idea of like there's already a strong preference towards that kind of person, right? And when we say, well, we really need those kind of people on the left, right? Then Vosh comes in and he's like, at your service. And a lot of people don't know to tell him to fuck straight off, right? Hasan, you know, I like I said, there's a huge difference between Hasan and Vosh. I'm not comparing the two of them. And I think as far as like, you know, debate, not debate people, but like as streamers go, Hasan is, you know, pretty, like, Hasan in some ways, yeah, would be considered soy. Like something like painting your nails, he's constantly getting shit over, and that's considered soy, right? So I don't even think that Hasan, like, you know, fits this ideal. I don't know. But the other thing is that, like, the other thing that Vosh will say is that, like, you know, people like him are actually discriminated against on the left, right? That people will see him and they'll make certain assumptions about him, and he could help, but you know, we're getting in the way of that. And it's like with you know, with his kind of help, it's almost like you know, thanks but no thanks, right? Painting your nails is soy. Yeah, well, I mean, like, that's what people will say about Hasan. Painting your nails is definitely not traditionally masculine. Fear me, I am the soy master. You got to make sure that you hit them in the head. Wait, are you serious? Is that right? Like, wait, so hitting... Wait, seriously? Did they update the combat? Does hitting them in the head actually give them more, like, damage? Because last I checked, it was just, like, the only thing you can do to damage them more is, like, this. Like, try to jump and hit them on the way down. That will, you know, hit them with a critical blow. Okay, so no trouble getting my stuff back. Yeah, so, like, here's the deal, right? Is there a utility in having people that would be roughly categorized into bro culture just, you know, at first glance? Yeah, sure. You know, is there a tendency for those people to like not align with the left, yeah, right, because the left is all about pulling down privilege, and you're like less likely to find somebody that's, you know, you're less like it's like there's less like, you know, to appeal to there, right? If you're at an intersection of privilege, right? But what we got to watch out for is accidentally replicating, because in, you know, the society at large, in our hetero patriarchal society, those people, like, right, those people have got, you know, are on the top of that hierarchy, right? So yeah, I mean, like, and it's not just in terms of like, you know, like traditionally masculine people, right? I'd say this about like any vector of privilege. Yes, it's good to have some people that are representative of that, you know, like it's good to have like a variety of different types of people in your movement, but like when that becomes like, I don't know, like I've just seen that get used for such bad shit, right? And yeah, like Vosh is the community that comes to mind as far as that. You've got a whole community full of, you know, honestly, like a lot of marginalized people that are in deference to somebody that doesn't have those, you know, vectors of marginalization, because they feel like he's their edgy boy messiah. He's the only one that can save them from the chuds, right? And like, you know, it becomes this kind of like worship of, you know, traditional masculine, what did we say, like traditional masculine roles. It becomes this kind of like worship of like traditional masculine like visions of strength, when in actuality the left, on the left, as far as strength goes, we should be looking for the strength, you know, between each other, right? The power is in our union. The power is in our solidarity. The power does not come from, you know, let's just get a bunch of people that have a lot of power in the society already, and then we'll get behind them, and, you know, they'll willingly give their power to us. That's generally not what happens. That's generally not how it works. So
I haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet. I am at the age, I'm so good at Tekken that I can't play anything else. I'm too old to learn a new fighting game and be good at it. And so like with Tekken 8 coming out, my attitude is I'm not gonna try to learn Street Fighter 6, because then I'll have to like go through a harder learning curve with Tekken 8.
This is good. I stress the importance to my chat that they should get their dogs to meet black people. So that
Yo, dogs are racist. People don't know that.
No, I know. I try to explain that because, like, I think it was a chatter that said it originally, where they were like, "Oh, are you like introducing your dog to black people?" And then everyone started dunking on him, and I was like, "No, actually,
that's
like,
real,
that's literally why dogs become racist."
We under like there's so many conversations around blackness that we don't even bother talking to y'all about. So one of the things is like you can always tell when a dog will tell on you how racist or white your friend circle is by how they respond to you. And so if I come in your house and your dog is immediately suspicious and aggressive of me, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
you don't have any other white people in your house.
Yeah, it's like the only black person or the brown person they see is like the post office guy, you know, the postal service worker. Then they're like literally going to fucking bark at every black and brown person that your dog sees.
Buy your nieces and nephews children's books with black characters in them. That's one thing I would do with my friends of my kids, is like for a birthday party, if we bring a gift, we would sometimes bring a gift with black characters in it, because it's little like the way racism works is insidious. It's meant to be rendered invisible. You know? That's why you people and certain types of images of blackness being only a specific way is a problem, because it doesn't challenge the status quo of how blackness has to exist in reality. So little shit like, you know,
not like critical race theory, brother.
And critical race theory is like,
or whatever Republicans define it as.
It's so like critical race theory is not even like, it was never, it's not, that's not even what these conversations even be about. And like critical race theory is very not mid, like as a theory, it's a great, deep, dope theory, but it was never meant to be a like focal point of a political movement. It was meant to just be like a academic area of inquiry.
Well, that's precisely the reason why it was never like actually critical race theory that they were criticizing. It was always like
history.
whatever, like an accurate telling of history from the perspective of like assuming black people are full-fledged human beings.
Yeah, or just recognizing the role white supremacy.
Yeah.
Like I just started watching the 1619. Is it 1619?
1619?
Yeah,
1619
1619 project. Yeah.
Project,
Oh
think
yeah,
it's called.
I don't know anything about that. Wait, is there a show now?
It's like a.
This was something that pissed off Republicans. This is something that the Trump administration complained about, and their answer. So you might have heard of the 1776. Why is the sun a rectangle there? It's the, I guess it is a rectangle with the default Minecraft skin. Probably because like everything in Minecraft is like square. Is it like a rectangle? Yeah, I guess technically it's a square, but like I got the FOV on, so it kind of looks like a rectangle or some kind of quadrilateral type of dealy. Oh my god. And then the moon. Oh yeah, it actually has a moon cycle. Look at that, full moon. So if I was Atlas Gaming, I'd be looking to release a trailer right now. No, actually I don't even know if that's full. That might be like a half moon there. But we're just looking for a shipwreck, right? That's what we need to get the. We can get a. For some reason, feathers are buried in the treasures of shipwrecks. It doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like, you're gonna look through a treasure chest, a submerged treasure chest for a feather, but that's how it works, at least in this version of Minecraft.
It's on Netflix. I think it's a 1619.
Yeah, 1619 project, but I didn't realize there was a show around it too.
Netflix has a whole miniseries, or is it Hulu? I'm sorry, Hulu. And so like even something like that, right? Like, 'cause that's produced by Oprah. So it's like it does all this great stuff talking about the nature of white supremacy being baked into Americana everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, you know, and that's kind of the challenge. It pulls, well, what I've seen, it pulls a handful of punches. I don't want to get into it. And that's kind of what happens with all black media, because we have to filter ourselves through white institutions, you know?
Yeah.
So let's talk about Donald Trump, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. He got indicted?
Donald Trump, he, in the most Donald Trump way possible, hid or refused to give back classified documents. And now he has like a very serious case against him. Like, he might actually fucking... Like, in a normal world, he would 100% go to jail. Like, let's just say it like that. If he wasn't Donald Trump, if it was anyone else, they like immediately go to jail. Like, no shot. Obstruction of justice. There's 37 charges. Only one of them is like a little spicy, espionage, being like, you know, the intent to distribute it to like foreign entities or whatever. That one might not stick, but the 36 are just like straight up open and shut. And like they designed this case to be like impossible to argue against.
So tell me if I'm fucked up here. I kind of want them to hold up, because I would rather. So first off, let me be very clear. I don't fuck with what the fuck is our president's name? Joe Biden, right?
Yeah, Joe
But
Brandon.
if I have to pick between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, obviously Joe Biden. If I have to pick between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, I'm personally more scared of Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
And I think that Ron DeSantis could probably actually beat Biden in a general. I don't think Trump can beat Biden in a general.
I don't know if, well, so I agree with what you said. I actually said this a while ago, like with respect to Ron DeSantis, but then I changed my messaging around it because, like, when I saw how he performed,
I haven't watched a single thing.
He has no charisma, and like the likelihood of him getting out of that primary alive is slim to none.
But what if?
So I'm
Trump
basically
is in jail?
banking on a, yeah. Well, Trump can still run from prison.
Oh shit, you serious?
Yeah. In America, you can't actually vote from prison, but you can run from prison. Eugene Debs did it, and won 1 million plus votes. Famous socialist Eugene V. Debs.
And this is why I've said, like, I think there's a good chance that the Republican candidate, the Republican nominee, might be somebody other than DeSantis or Trump. Like, right? So yeah, like Hasan's saying, you can run from jail. That can happen. Trump also might not be in jail. The decision, the verdict might not be, might not might not come by that time. Also, even if the verdict does come, maybe he could appeal, right? So there's some chance that he wouldn't be in jail. But regardless, he's going to be very, very involved in criminal cases that he has no choice but to engage with, right? He cannot postpone them. He cannot, avoid them. He cannot like outsource them to somebody else. Like, right? He's got to be there for a lot of these criminal proceedings, and that in and of itself is going to make it hard. The just basic retail politics that everybody does, it's gonna be challenging for Trump to do that stuff. So there's a better chance, I think, than anybody's really giving credit to, that Donald Trump is gonna just run into some realities that he has to face, and isn't going to be able to campaign the way that he wants to, and may end up dropping out of the race, or may end up being seen as a liability, because like as much as the Republicans don't want to believe any of the charges against him, right? They know that outside of their party, people do believe the charges against him. People don't think that they are politically motivated. They think that Donald Trump is a very corrupt, criminal candidate who has avoided... Wait, this is a different place, isn't it? This is a different place. Wow. I found a new city, I guess. Yeah, come with new food. And new loot. That, more importantly, right? You can get some loot. Oh, that's a Fletcher. He said if he isn't elected, he will run independently. Yeah, but like any kind of running, especially independent, that Donald Trump's gonna do, is gonna have to be is gonna have to be tempered by the sort of commitments that he's got as far as the criminal proceeding go. Yeah, so you got Trump that's got, this, and remember, it's not just one case, right? It is the case in Florida, the case in New York, the soon-to-be case in Georgia, and I feel like there's even one more that's going to drop. I can see Tucker Carlson. Yo, Chad Alpha, that's a really smart, yeah. Tucker Carlson, what's the guy's name from Virginia? Youngkin as a possibility. And Youngkin's another guy that kind of maybe even more so than because DeSantis, the advantage that people have with DeSantis is that even though he should have as bad or worse of a reputation than Trump, because he's done more things to harm to harm people within the context of per capita, right? Per capita as a governor of Florida than Trump did per capita. Trump's not, extremely effective, right? So people should know that Ron DeSantis, if you don't like Trump, you should really not like Ron DeSantis, but people don't know because it takes a long time for that kind of stink to, oh, there's the Fletcher. Hey, Fletcher, I can't wait I don't have it with me. I don't have my emeralds, but I could buy arrows from you if I did. That's a really useful, So yeah, and then as far as DeSantis goes, right? Like Hasan's saying, it is uncanny how unlikable DeSantis is. So that might be DeSantis's Achilles heel. Trump's Achilles heel would be his. Yeah, and remember also he's an old dude. Trump is almost Biden's age, right? So, Biden's not looking that great, and Biden, may not may not make it to the 2024 election in good health, right? Same thing for Trump, especially with the added stress, and even for a guy like Trump, there's going to be some stress that comes from all these criminal prosecutions going on. And like Hasan said, there's the espionage charge, could go either way, but the 36 other charges, they're pretty slam dunk. Like, right, it's pretty clear. Like, he's basically admitted to, de facto, like, admitted to a lot of these charges, right? So, so yeah, you've got a reason not to count Trump out, not to count DeSantis out, but a reason that they might not be the fait accompli that people are treating them like. And I'd say the same thing with Biden in terms of his health, right? He's going to be, the obvious candidate until he's not, right? And, a few more incidents like the fall at the Air Force speech and, the more times this happens, the more discussion there's going to be of the possibility of another candidate. There are already, let's see, we've got Marianne Williamson doesn't seem to be a very serious candidate. You've got RFK who, right, has a certain appeal. Like, right, RFK is going to get the Jimmy Dore vote, but maybe not much else. But if Biden had other serious candidates in the race against him, some of those candidates might start to show some appeal, right? So yeah, don't jump to the conclusion that it's going to be Biden and Trump. I predicted, and I did this because it's like kind of high risk, high reward. But like I think there's a really good chance that the election could be between people that we're not even talking about right now. And I'm mainly saying that because, if I'm right, I'm going to sound so smart. If I'm not, oh well, people can make fun of me. Right?
So there is precedent for it. You can run for president, you can become the president from prison.
What do I think about the possible charges pending the Georgia perfect call investigation? The only thing that might get in the way of the Georgia charges is the I think that the Republicans took the state legislature in Georgia, right? And they have, given some signs that they really don't want that prosecution to go forward. And they've got sort of like levers of power that they can hold over the prosecutor in Georgia. So, I guess, they could sort of try to get out of the Georgia charges with some, political pressure. It's going to be a lot more likely to have an impact rather than the political. They are trying to bring political pressure to bear on the New York case and on the Florida case, but they're going to have a lot more luck in terms of affecting the Georgia prosecution, which is terrible because like that's what the Republicans are saying right now. They are complaining. They are complaining that this is a political prosecution, that things aren't proceeding according to the rule of law, that it's politics that's, moving the wheels. And in actuality, it's only politics that's kept Trump out of trouble so far. And if anything, politics, is more likely to come in and prevent Trump from facing accountability than it is to put him in trouble that he wouldn't have otherwise gotten in. So
that opens up an interesting legal argument as to, considering that this is a federal case, he could actually
DeSantis and Pence are more ideologically driven. Pence specifically is part of the long game Christians have been playing to turn America into a Christian theocracy. There is no way he's gonna get the nomination, though. Oh yeah, wait, what? Is something shooting at me? Oh no! You make that noise when you make he makes arrows, and that's where that comes from. Anyway, it sounds like an arrow being shot at you, but it's not.
Technically, pardon himself. It's never been done before for obvious reasons. So he could technically pardon himself and get out of prison.
Just like you could technically pardon yourself by buying a sub before the top of the hour ad break, which is coming up at us in about 9 minutes, right? You could potentially pardon yourself and get out of that top of the hour ad break. You could also potentially, utilize some sort of an Amazon Prime membership that you might have lying around, or that somebody in your house might have access to. You could potentially hook that up with your Twitch account and get one free Prime sub to give to your streamer, the streamer of your choice, which, if it's me, that would get you out of the ad break. Or you could potentially get lucky enough to be seen chatting. And this only really works if you're chatting, right? To be seen chatting by somebody who's looking to give a gift or community subs. So
you know, he could still do that. So even if he goes to jail, it's like, it's more so, I'm just banking on infighting between the Republican parties, like more reactionary.
We're selling pardons, exactly.
Comes out in the primaries.
We're like the
force to be reckoned with in the primaries versus like how difficult appeasing that base while also trying to win over a general electorate.
Yeah,
because it's like pretty much almost impossible. The only way you can do it is if you are, as I like to say, you know, Obama for white people.
Well, I mean, so
like
that's
similarly charismatic to Obama.
They don't,
like,
do they have anybody like that? No. So with that's why I'm scared of DeSantis though, because I didn't know he had no charisma. I figured something had to be going on in Florida for him to win twice. And I'm gonna bounce in a second. Oh, you are? Okay.
I mean, a lot of what's been going on for DeSantis is gerrymandering, is voter intimidation, and stuff like that. That's what's been working for DeSantis.
We got to go to dinner. We got to feed the children.
Yeah. Getting nice out too. Sun's coming out.
Yeah, we might actually. Well, they went swimming, so we'll see. I'll see what my wife. I'll see what the kids is talking about when I get there. DeSantis. The thing that scares me about DeSantis is that white electorate will vote for DeSantis. They won't vote for Trump. Is my belief. Because
normal whites, like suburban whites that are like, I like tax cuts and like a little bit of racism, but like not so much volatility, basically. Are looking for a person who's going to give that to them. But
Trump forced them to acknowledge how racist they were in public for the first time. Like if I put my uncle's hotel hat on for a second, and talk about the value of Trump, and this is something you will hear in a lot of circles and black barbershops, whatever. The one thing that is true is that Trump forced white Americans to like openly connect themselves to an overt racist through political power, and like they would rather not do that.
There were a lot of people that are like, educated or wealthy suburbanites who want all of that without the optics of being associated with it.
Right. They don't want to wear
like you said, white supremacy is insidious and invisible. It's made to be invisible. So when you have someone who's like openly saying the things, that actually is very captivating. Well, unsurprisingly and terrifyingly very captivating for a big base of support. But after 4 years of that, I think
Kyle looks bored.
If I'm not mistaken, it was because Trump actually gained in every population except white men, in from 2016 to 2020, and that was the reduction in white male voters was the real reason why he lost, because that represents a much larger base of the electorate. In Georgia, like Stacey Abrams lost, right, but Herschel Walker lost to guy's kind of okay. I can't remember his name right now. Raphael Warnock.
Radical liberal Raphael Warnock.
Radical leftist who hasn't said anything about Cop City as far as I can tell, though.
He's not that radical.
Not that radical, but that's like right in his area.
Even though they did, I love whenever like there's a prominent black senator or anything like that, or well, in his situation, he's also a preacher. They immediately hit him with the Jeremiah Wright, where they're like, he's connected to Jeremiah Wright.
Of course,
it was awesome.
Indeed. That. I'm not gonna do any more Obama slander, but
no, you can do it all day. I mean, I do it nonstop.
When we go to Walker, like Walker lost
radical liberal Raphael Warnock, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like they had a choice between Stacey Abrams, a quality Democratic candidate, and whatever our white guy's name is, who is a
John Ossoff.
No, John Ossoff won too, but no, the Republican governor candidate.
Oh, Brian Kemp. Yeah.
Who for what it's worth has not been like Ron DeSantis, right? He wants his Disney money.
He's Brian Kemp's actually really interesting because he's a fucking horrifyingly racist piece of shit, and his Secretary of State literally stole the election. Which, by the way, I don't know how you feel about Stacey Abrams, but I think she's not great.
She's
awful.
She is basically what I expect from Democrats at this point.
Yeah.
If all the Democrats,
exactly.
That makes sense. If all the Democrats were Stacey Abrams, that would still suck.
Yeah, no, she's
if she were the extreme, you know what I mean? If she were cinema, If you replace cinema with Stacey Abrams across the board in like
Yes,
the Democrat,
it would be better.
It would be better, right?
But then again, I don't know, because she like immediately went and worked for Center for American Progress, got $5 million from Michael Bloomberg. There was also
everybody in Georgia got money from Bloomberg.
and then on top of that, the other part was like she apparently was like funneling money into her best friend's like law firm or something. There's like a lot of financial misdeeds.
They're going after her for like the wave she created, because she became a little celebrity for the Democrats.
Yeah.
And she's a single, large black woman, which makes her going back to that optics target issue. So like they want to get her because like it's going to be a pile-on situation. So I have heard that. I just like my relationship with electoral politics in general is I'm not paying attention at this point because I have minimal faith. But like if you aren't openly embarrassing and like I have to vote for you like with the same energy as like I wash my hands. You know what I'm saying? If I take a shit, I need to wash my hands afterwards because that's what you do. So it's like I voted for Stacey Abrams, I voted for Warnock because Georgia, like Georgia is
I do think Warnock, like
Warnock's
as far
got some
as
shit in there.
Well, I would say that Warnock, as far as like the way he carries himself, as far as his background, as far as his messaging, definitely was more openly progressive than Stacey Abrams, though. Whereas like Stacey Abrams hyper focused on like shifting demographics and how like we need to open up more. We need to
it's
open
a barn.
up voter access, and that was her primary thing. But then
maybe these are new structures. I don't think I've seen one of those.
Warnock
I hate getting the villagers out of bed.
So like, feel free. Whoever
Oh,
watches
see,
this,
you're
we talk about,
upset. I'm
getting someone's
sorry.
past, but I know Warnock's,
I know.
into-liberation theology, which is like an overtly leftist engagement with Christianity, and it may not seem you may not be impressed by that, but that's
no. I would be impressed by it if it was real.
If it was, I've heard it's kind of real.
I'm just saying, like,
if it's real, like if it's tangible.
If it was like, if I saw it in his policies or in the way that he like, in the way that he even utilizes his bully pulpit, you know what I mean? Because like that's what I thought originally as well. That's why I was like, oh, like whenever people immediately go, oh, Jeremiah Wright, like,
he's like, oh no, not me.
He didn't even fully do that. To be fair, he basically played up the MLK side of things and not
made MLK into Santa Claus, into Black Santa Claus, like all of them do.
Well, no, but I think he's literally from the same church, which is why he was just like saying like I'm close to MLK in my perspective, but like not the democratic socialism aspects, I guess, or the anti-imperialist aspects. But I don't know.
Not in Georgia. I mean, that's the weird thing about where I think all leftist politics. So to give background myself, right? Like I started moving left in the middle of Obama's second term. I was like a lot of, I think, older millennials. Obama was like a turning point for me politically because like the first vote I ever laid was for Al Gore. So to kind of give you an idea of how things went from there. And so like, you go through however many years of Bush and you have this extremely charismatic figure come forward and he's black. And like, I never imagined that I would actually see a black, what? Public safety is just as a false choice that we do not have to make.
I support law enforcement. I support the right of people to have their voices. Oh God, he said he supports the right of people to have their voices heard in the conversation, but also he supports law enforcement. We need a comprehensive approach to public safety. Training is certainly a part of that. If our approach is comprehensive, police have to be trained somehow, somewhere. At the same time, we need a comprehensive approach, which means investment in mental health in schools. Oh God,
damn, did that just happen today?
I mean, yeah, literally earlier this morning, according to Axios. So, yeah. No, he did say something. He didn't say nothing. That's something. That's not.
It's not what I would have hoped. I would have rather him not said anything.
That's tailored to make it seem like he's not saying something when he's saying everything.
I mean, the Democrats. I mean, Atlanta is ran by black Democrats. Atlanta is ran by black Democrats, and it's like when people get mad at me for like, and I be mild as fuck in my Democrat attacks in my content.
Yeah.
I be real, like, hey, it's bad for these reasons. Okay. And like other people are like, really taking them to task. And I be mild, but I still get a lot of heat because that status quo is so fucking intoxicating. And like all the evidence is there that the people of Atlanta, especially the black people, do not want this police training facility, let alone the fact that the police don't need more training. They're not actually going to be training. And training doesn't work. Right. But like, shout out to community movement builders. Shout out to Kamal Franklin. They talk about the fact that they're now facing up against overt Democrat power structures to get this through. The DNC was planning on being in Atlanta, and they were like, we ain't coming to fucking Atlanta with y'all handling this shit. Like it'd have been a black eye in the moment. You know what I'm saying? I gotta find. Speaking of Cop City, real quick.
I have a question for you.
Yes, indeed.
This is something that I think about a lot. But I'm sure you have also seen this. But like we basically kind of briefly touched on it, where like a lot of content creators, I think, tap into younger, black, predominantly male audiences by talking about pre-existing constructs, like forms of oppression, whether it's like patriarchy or in certain instances, it's like, you know, anti-LGBT sentiment, things of that nature, PUA stuff. And I do think that that kind of content has a lot of, I mean, it's captivating for younger audiences in general, not just black audiences, but younger men are looking for that kind of thing. And I don't, while there are more white counters to that sort of stuff, which is, you know, it's still ultimately not all that effective. There isn't like, I haven't seen a way where there's a big wave of, I mean, I guess outside of content creators that you mentioned in yourself, there isn't as big as a counter movement that is like objectively leftist, black content for black audiences that's like objectively leftist. There are examples, but they're not as popular is what I'm saying.
So a couple things. The reality is, outside of Kevin Samuels, who was like an anomaly on so many levels, that stuff isn't, that like overt misogyny isn't as appealing to young black men as you might think. And there's also not as much value in it for the content creator. What I think is more common, I just saw somebody say Tariq Nasheed, like, just like for me, but Tariq Nasheed's audience was white men. You know what I'm saying? And like,
damn, he's gonna come after you for that one. I never said that.
It's the fucking truth, Tariq. Your audience, when you were doing your pimp hustler shit, it was all white men.
I am pro ADOS movement. I don't know what this man is saying. Okay, please don't come after me.
And so you know, and Kevin Samuels' audience was probably, it definitely wasn't predominantly women, right? But it was way more women driven than male driven than your typical manosphere figure.
Yeah,
the actual black manosphere, those guys can't.
Because he was hot.
He was attractive. He was traditional. He was conservative in a palatable way. And so and he was talking directly to women, which is something the black manosphere couldn't do. The actual black manosphere, they can't get more than a couple, like 100 people in a given chat, right? So I'm gonna just be, if I'm honest, I think what you're seeing is mostly smoke and mirrors, and or
no, I was thinking more of like people like Andrew Tate,
right?
And there are plenty of other like content creators that aren't like exclusively black manosphere content creators at all. I just meant like manosphere content creators and how they can like sometimes capture an audience of young boys,
right?
Which also happens to include black boys as well.
So it's the same thing of why this fucking guy with the little dirt, the same thing he's doing. It's the criticism I have through a lot of my content, which is blackness is such a viable, valuable, and easily accessible commodity in entertainment, right? If I can project the black image in the right way, people will pay attention because they love our shit, from rock and roll 60, 70 years ago to Obama 20 years ago to, you know, whoever's coming next. They love our shit. And so you're always going to pull a handful of young, you're going to pull more people with anything you do if you're going to attach a black aesthetic to it. And so with these young boys in particular, you're going to, just like your energy is going to collect young black boys, you know, like a Sean DeBlack, right? Is going to collect them into whatever you're doing. It's more so about, I actually did my paper, so I did my master's thesis.
I do think that is like much smaller though, for me especially. Like my black audience is definitely, I would go so far as to say like, what is it, like 6%, 7%? It's actually lower than like someone like XQC, for example, would probably have like a larger black audience because he's not like overtly political. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the politics changed that. But even, I would say, XQC's black audience and Andrew Tate's black audience are still gonna be a lot smaller than, you know, like per capita than mine or Corey Kenshin. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, because the thing
Corey Kenshin is who I was thinking of. That's like one good example, like great example of like
that's why we don't get through the doors.
A political content creator that is like, you know, clearly putting on like a very solid message. Yeah,
and it's like I know you all just finished beef with them, and I'm not fans either. But like Abba and Preach, right? They're apolitical. They're definitely right, but they're like semi apolitical. They're gonna pull a bigger black audience than Sneeko or Andrew Tate or any of the.
I mean, maybe it's just because of the clips that I've seen. I'll admit I haven't watched a lot of Abba and Preach. I just like it wows me. It wows me to think that Abba and Preach are like not considered political, because maybe it's just the clips that I've seen, but every single clip I've seen has been like not just political but pretty overtly reactionary. But I don't know, maybe their entire show is different.
These guys, yeah, because like historically, that's kind of what I said earlier about patriarchy and black men. We have access and are protected by patriarchy in a lot of ways, But the appeal of patriarchy.
It almost reminds me of how we were talking about Jordan Peterson earlier. People thought of him as not right wing, as not transphobic, as etc. Like right now that veneer is off of him. Now, whenever he comes up, trending on Twitter, for instance, like it's generally mostly people dunking on him.
Doesn't look like the bullshit that happens on the internet. Most Black manosphere dudes will be considered clowns in their like greater community. Like if in real life, whenever I like Black manosphere dudes are like debate bros in that they only have power and exist like the hyper misogynistic people. Only we get out of Black manosphere. Like if there was a kid in my kid's school, a Black boy in my kid's school doing the Andrew Tate thing, he would probably be laughed at by the greater Black boys because it's so try-hard, because it's so divorced from the actual aesthetics of Black masculinity that they're seeing. And this is not to say, I want to be clear to anybody, to whoever's going to be critical. This is not to say that there aren't elements of, misogyny, misogynoir.
It's giving you ads in Japanese? Yo, you know what? That's probably because I'm Moe. That's proof right there, chat. That's proof that I'm such a Moe streamer that it's like, is this anime? I think it is. Let's, I don't know.
All those things that are happening in the Black communities. It's just that comes from a different source than an Andrew Tate.
Oh yes, speaking of Japan, apparently Hasan is taking another trip over to Japan, so living that life. A few of my friends follow Alba and Preach.
That comes from the reality of Black life in Black communities. That comes to overarching influence of patriarchy. You might say that comes.
Yeah, that's why I specify by saying like I'm not doing the classic like white liberal shtick of being like, well, what about homophobia in the Black community? Like I wasn't singling out the Black community in particular to be like
that is like an annoying thing, right? For some reason, especially debate bros, when they see like homophobia in the context of another marginalized group, particularly I gotta say like in the Black community, they will regard it as if it is like some kind of a more pronounced problem in that community than in their own, and really disregard all the homophobia and transphobia that goes on in the white community to hyper focus on and then it ends up being a criticism of the Black community. It ends up being some like just basic respectability politics or something, like it ends up as a racist or like as Vosh would say, what did he say? He said like F Black culture, right? Leftist, thank you for the follow. You must be like an early Twitch person, right? Because like the one like right there's leftist this, there's leftist that, there's leftist tech support, there's all kinds of leftist, accounts with leftist in the name. Yours is just leftist, and that's gotta be, I don't know, you gotta be like an early Twitch adopter, early Twitch leftist to get that, I guess, maybe? I'm speculating. Next week in Japan.
like address these crimes. Like,
But I mean, we heard this from we heard this on the Wick panel, right? I'm not going to bring up his name again because he's irrelevant, but there was one of the streamers on there who, used to be, follow on Twitter. I'm no longer following on Twitter, who basically, when they were talking about Kanye, brought up the point that somehow he thought that the Black people were going to be more susceptible to anti-Semitism than white people. And it's just like, based on what? Oh, your race, based on your bias, based on the stereotype, the way that you stereotype Black people. That was the only basis, right? It was just
more so
trying to understand
it's like every community, and it exists in every community. And I feel as though like young Black boys are also susceptible to that kind of message, just like young white boys are. And I guess for me, it's like, I'm not accessible. Like, I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to reach out to.
You can't.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to.
It's you will not have. You don't have the features that you need. So you can't. You're smartly and thankfully are not like, if you were to become Eminem or some shit. Right, if you were to come in here and like,
so first Hasan has to become a rap god,
overtly throw on a black scent and like present like a Black veneer, you could catch some of those same young boys. But you, thankfully, because I was
saying Aiden Ross, you want me to be Aiden Ross?
If you were Aiden Ross,
yeah,
you could do it because because a lot of these young boys.
Says, told you to wear a do-rag, dumbass.
Oh, you've seen people like Pokemon say that they like their content. So part of that is going to be clout, right? Part of people having a positive bias towards Abba and Preach is that they're a pretty big channel, right? Like I'm going out on a limb here, but am I right? Am I right? They're a pretty big channel. So in the same way that a few years ago, there were a lot of people, in fact, you know, I don't want to get in trouble here, right? But there are, yeah, I won't mention their name. But somebody whose content I appreciate. Somebody whose wholesomeness I appreciate. Someone whose intersectional approach I appreciate will never say a bad word against Vosh. You might know who I'm talking about without me mentioning who it is, right? And you know, is it really because they don't have a problem with anything that the Vosh does or Vosh says, or is it that it's more beneficial to have Vosh, you know, nominally on their side than to have Vosh, you know, against them, right? You see that all the time, right? You see people treat Destiny with kid gloves. It's also people with privilege are able to look past true. Look past their bad political takes because they are funny. It's dumb to... There's enough homophobia. Yeah, exactly. There's enough homophobia with white people that there is an entire homophobic political party that holds power. Yeah. Let's talk about the homophobes that hold power rather than like trying to like put that on, like trying to add that to the stereotype of black people. Like, you know, I think that white people have enough stereotypes of black people as it is without adding one more. The vague posting gives me life. Yeah, because I'm not just trying to start drama, and this isn't somebody that I have any like beef with. I don't dislike them. Like I said, I appreciate their content, but I do know that they will never criticize, or at least in my experience, they will never criticize Vosh. I think you've got to be center right to think of yourself as apolitical. Yeah, that's probably true. But I mean, maybe that's what's going on. Like, I don't know if Abba and Preach is like, I get the feeling they're pretty big. And like when somebody becomes like an institution on the platform, there's a tendency to try to go easy on them. And there's a tendency to handle them with kid gloves, both because, you know, there's a benefit from, you know, should they decide to favor you? Should they decide to shout you out? Should they like watch something of yours and you know, comment positively on it? Right there, that's a benefit, and there's a massive negative to you know, like, I mean, if you criticize like, you know, a big channel, you're gonna get their fans, you know, criticizing you.
I would get
That's
canceled.
bad.
I have worn it when someone sent it to me.
You didn't know
well, I mean, I had to. It's a black fan of mine sent it to me on.
Smartest man in the world says Abba and Preach has also gotten more overtly political with time. Back in their day, their content would be comedic. Oh, so they do like Jubilee reactions. I did one of those recently. It was really, it's kind of wild.
On one of my PO boxes.
I don't usually react to Jubilee, but
I'm not gonna. I'm going to hold that for you in the moment. But no, like, so like Aiden Ross is actually a perfect example because he's racially ambiguous, kinda.
Yeah.
He presents this black aesthetic. He involves himself in, you know, the black vernacular, all these things.
Yeah.
And so like, if you are a young black,
He talks about issues that like young black boys are talking about.
Right.
As well.
But he ain't got shit on what's the fucking guy's name? Top of the food chain right now, streaming. Young Black
Kai.
Locks. He ain't got shit on Kai.
Yeah.
So it's like the black boys are actually watching Kai.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
they love him.
I thank you for.
It's like Kai and RDC are at the top, like with respect to that, and I think like RDC especially, I would say, but Kai as well. I think they like Kai for being so young. I think carries himself a certain way where he understands that like he needs to be brand friendly, which is a very good.
Yeah, good point, Raven. They don't just criticize. Yeah. Yeah, like when you are critical of a larger streamer, sometimes the fans of that larger streamer won't just criticize you, but they'll harass you.
In my opinion,
And they're
like,
also trying.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like the thing that, so when you're going back to like even talking about my sons, when you are a young black man, you don't have a lot of imagery to aspire to. Like the images, the positive images are often manufactured, and you can kind of tell. The negative images may feel familiar, but they're obviously negative images. And so like you're kind of in a wavelength in between those two extremes. There are young black men that don't fuck with me because I'm too soft. You know what I'm saying? I'm too gentle. I'm too friendly to like trans folks and queer people in my audience, right? And so maybe they'll like, you know, some of the younger dudes I fuck with more. And so those young boys are always looking for images. It's like all boys. They're looking for images that reflect what they're trying to aspire to.
Yeah.
And so the absence of a black aesthetic, a manufactured, I'll be clear, a black aesthetic, then you versus a Aiden Ross makes that difference. And then of course, there's a reason why so many manosphere major figures historically, maybe not now, have been men of color. Andrew Tate, Roosh V, Kevin Samuels, and probably a couple of more.
Andrew Tate transcends that so much that like I often forget that he's like his dad was literally like a black chess. He wasn't a grandmaster, but like I think he was like I am.
Yeah, his dad was a black chess genius. His dad looks like the type of dude. Like when I saw his dad, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense now. But I want to get into that. And so like even though he doesn't engage with his blackness gives him an explicit access to like this.
People are saying I didn't know Tate was black. Yes.
Tate is, he's technically half black, and people argue about that. You mentioned Ados. I don't want to talk about it.
I was just kidding. I was definitely joking.
But like, so yeah, Andrew Tate's half black, and there's a way that white males in particular fetishize men of color, right?
Yeah.
Even a Roosh V or Andrew Tate, or even you, like, you're still spicy white. Like, if you were from Wisconsin, you wouldn't have this chat doing what you're doing.
Probably.
You would have to be more like an Aiden Ross or insert shitty debate guy here to get.
It's actually really interesting. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
It's like I'm Turkish, so like I'm technically white. You know what I mean? In the way that I grew up in Turkey, I'm a part of like the dominant in group. Mm-hmm. Like if whiteness is proximity to power, I'm politically white. So I never really thought about it as like being anything but
you're not Georgia white though.
I don't really know much about those old PUA guys.
Yeah, no.
You're not come visit me in Atlanta white. And so because of that, there's people in this chat and it's not like, and to be nice to the people in the chat, it's a very unconscious thing because, as we've said multiple times, white supremacy is insidious and renders itself invisible. So you don't even know that that there's a projection of man, and then also you're an attractive man, you're a tall man, you know, all these different features. Yeah. And so like there's an attachment. You're about a bunch of white people in your chat are gonna be like, oh my god, I have to stop. I'm racist. I'm gonna stop watching Hasan. But because of that, like that is how a lot of this shit works. And so you're maneuvering multiple discourses of race and gender unintentionally, and so. You know, so like Kai or like the politics combined with the absence of certain aesthetics is not going to find 15-year-old like the same 50-year-olds that might fuck with me, even though I have the same politics. You know what I'm saying? They see, okay, they got the locks.
I think our audiences are nerdy though. That's what I mean. Like,
they're not as nerdy as you think.
You think so?
Well, my audience isn't as nerdy.
Because like the way I see it is like, I play a lot of basketball. It's like one avenue that I have to like talk to people directly that don't know who the fuck I am, and I take advantage of that as like a normal person. You know what I mean? And every time I talk to like, I don't know, I mean, there's a very diverse group of people, but like anytime I talk to like black teenagers, they love Aiden Ross. They know about Aiden Ross. They obviously love and idolize Kai. But I don't think they're like that invested. I mean, it's sampling.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So he was like, women should cook, but baking is different.
Yes, obviously.
Well, no, it's. I mean, yeah. So,
but what's not different is the bottom of the hour ad break, which we are coming up to in about 10 minutes. I'm giving you your 10-minute warning that in 10 minutes, if you don't have a little symbol, a little persona avatar by your head, you too will be experiencing the bottom of the hour ad break. It's just the same as the top of the hour ad break, except it occurs on the 30s instead of on the 10s. Ways that you can get out of that: if you've got $5, you can get out of that pretty easily just by buying a Twitch sub. If you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can use that. You can connect that, integrate that with your Twitch, and you can get a free sub to give to the streamer of your choice. Hopefully that's me. Or if you are lucky enough to be chatting and be noticed by somebody who's given community subs or gift subs, that's another way you can get out of it. So that's an incentive to you lurkers to stop lurking, at least during the top of the bottom of the hour. You might actually get lucky there. So 9 out of 10. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting better.
Them in particular, right? I don't know. I can't call it, especially with Aiden.
Has he been massaging the whole time? I thought he said it was his like wrist or something that was hurting from editing. I mean, I guess your back could hurt too.
It's also like the aspirational masculinity.
I forgot about
They can't aspire to
I forgot about the
what you're
massager.
doing that much. They have to find something that is more in line with what seems realistic and what seems accessible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they aspire, like the same, if they aspire to what you're doing too much, they're going to face criticism from their peers because of how distant you are from Black aesthetics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you just, it is what it is. And on the flip side, one of the reasons why I do what I do is because I want to break down why that aesthetic isn't all that healthy to begin with, so that, young guys, young Black boys are aspiring further to even like a Childish Gambino, who I'm like very critical of, or what's the dude that plays? He's in Lakeith Stanfield, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Who also is like, he's gone down like a weird path. I think post COVID.
No, don't tell me.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I loved him. I love him. He worked with fucking Boots Riley. Like, you can't. It doesn't get any better than that.
So I figured,
I think I mean, who knows?
he may just had a moment because he's also a rich actor. Thank you.
Yeah. Post
He's like, don't
COVID.
say Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah. No. I thought he did like post COVID. I remember seeing some stuff. But
Somebody will
I
throw it
think
up.
he's maybe it's not like that. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. We're gonna rebuke any. We're gonna hold that. I can't bury any more Black men I admire. Like between we started with Cosby however many years ago, and like I wouldn't even get into the Kanye shit, and, and fucking now Killer Mike, like people I wasn't even expecting to come out of a bag like that. Anyway, I'm about to take this and just.
Oh, here I'll give you the Mr. Beast stuff. Hold on. People are still saying Killer Mike isn't bad.
He's not as bad as like insert other person here, but it's a problem.
Look at Kaya. Look at Kaya.
There you go. It's like a Nerf gun.
Oh, Kaya's cute.
You don't have to show it.
I don't have to show it.
Okay, so we got the Mr. Beast.
He has a ball
swag.
of D's nuts. D's nuts.
They're called D's Nuts. Mr. Beast sells D's Nuts. Not just any nuts, but D's Nuts.
This is why I should have listened to my friends.
What did they say?
And not came on here. If they told me he's gonna give you Mr. B stuff, I made
nuts stuff.
These nuts.
No, they'll love it though. I mean,
I know
got
they're gonna
the-
love it, Hasan. That's the fucking problem.
They're gonna. That's the problem. That's the problem.
I don't know, but here you go. Both of those boxes.
All right. We're gonna take Mr. B stuff for the babies. I'm gonna take this massager.
Kaya is gonna be massive soon. Yo, maybe I should dog sit while Hasan. I should ask Hasan if he needs a dog sitter.
Don't forget your phone.
I would totally take care of Kaya
Here you go.
I'll chat you.
All right.
while he's in Japan. Maybe he'll bring Kaya though.
Okay. Let me move
Also,
this back. real
like
quick.
yeah, like look at this. Now look, I watch enough Hasan that I know why this is going on. But if you notice, like Kaya's coloring looks different in the Kaya cam picture than it does in the regular one, right? This is actually because one of Hasan's cameras went out and he had to replace it with one that he uses for the podcast. So each camera has a different kind of color grading out the box. I don't know how much color grading Hasan himself does or any of his channels. This is Hasanabi Network, who you should totally go and subscribe to. Hasanabi Network, right? This is the one channel that had his VOD up that was not the evil DMCA channel. I made sure to stay away from that one. So they were very nice, and we appreciate them bringing this content to us. But yeah, I don't know if because if they were color grading, then they would color grade Kaya too. Poor dog looks bored as fuck and kind of washed out. Like, I really like Hasan's, I guess that's the podcast camera that we're looking at. More than the Kaya cam may just be a webcam too.
Yeah. All right, you can come sit back down while I go pee. You can address them personally on a final note.
Final
There you go.
notes.
You can sit here. But don't show your phone to the camera.
Do you have a final note?
Oh no. Okay. Oh shit. Let me just do that first.
Wait, I feel like FD Signifier is trying to get out of there, and Hasan's like, wait, no, I need to pee.
I know, man. I know.
Come here and talk to chat. Come here and entertain chat. I don't have a video to put on. Wait. Maybe there's a miscommunication. I think that Hasan thought that FD was gonna sit in the chair and... What did he put in his pocket? I don't know. Maybe some Mr. Beast stuff? Oh no, there's Hasan again.
Crime, no snitching. I already. What did you take?
What?
Oh, don't show your phone though.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's the one thing that like is the hardest
That's
for people.
wild. Are people really like?
Oh yes. Shit. Oh, absolutely. Welcome to the silent library.
Wait,
oh
wait,
God.
whoa. Like, look, I know most streamer stuff. What? Don't share your phone? Don't show your phone? Is that what he just said? Like... I'm assuming that the concern is, like, doxing? Yeah, that's what he said, don't show your phone. I wonder what that was about. Like, is, like, people knowing the, like, make and model of your phone, is that dangerous? I don't know.
Okay, don't tell me anything.
Yeah.
I think we have to check out Durag Hasan. Wait, oh, is it?
Oh,
here. There it
This
is.
is why we struggle.
This is I was.
Big up the whole island, massive.
Oh God. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna put it on, dude.
Okay, so that's Chet Hanks. Wait.
This is
Big up the whole.
Yeah, that's Chet Hanks. If you don't know who Chet Hanks is, it's Tom Hanks's son, I believe, and you know, white dude that likes to speak in a Jamaican patois kind of way. There's top secret files on his phone, right? The real secret files.
Whole island, massive. It's your boy Chetana coming straight from that Golden
Who
Globe.
the, is this Chet Hanks?
Yeah, it's Chet Hanks. You've never
Yo,
seen
I've never seen him actually do that shit.
It's the White Boy
that's-
Summer,
that's
yes.
Chet Hanks.
It was a couple summers ago.
Good.
I'm just trying to make. I'm just checking to make sure I don't miss
Yeah.
my joint. Oh, Hasan, you have transgressed.
In the name of God,
It's
I
okay.
ask the great extractive industries, mining, oil, forest, real estate, agribusiness to stop destroying forests.
Okay, this is okay. Listen, I can explain. Oh, okay, I can explain.
You're gonna explain.
No,
You're gonna
Why
explain.
did you guys show him this? No.
Wait,
Oh, God.
what? Does he not have control over his like own? What is? Why do you? Does he give a? I don't get it. Like, he must like right.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I will never. What's up? Oh yeah. I'll grab it. Oh no, it's Jover.
Wetlands and mountains.
The barbs were so right, dude. Okay, the barbs, so right.
Yeah, I mean, like Ostenox, what is his like? Is his editor? But I mean, this isn't like a post-production kind of thing. This is going on, you know, in real time, and it makes me wonder, like, does he somehow have like part of his setup is like, does he have like because you'd have to like give somebody like a tunnel or something, right? And like giving Ostenox a tunnel sounds like a bad idea.
I will never live this down. It's like being unsubscribed at the top of the hour when there's a 3-minute ad break, dude. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. That was FD Signifier, by the way. For those of you who don't know, he's a wonderful content creator. Brilliant. I am aging at the speed of white. That's true.
There's way too many creepers
Kyle's
around
going
here.
Fucking crazy. Very chill. Yeah, he has great videos, very thoughtful. Thanks
Hey,
for
what's up,
feeding us
Clarity
Black Chatters,
Echoes?
Finally, yeah. I mean, every now and then you got to do
All right,
it.
I'm gonna have to steal a bed. I hate
Crumb
stealing a
Gutters, thank you
bed,
for
but
the
I'm gonna
5
have to do
gifted.
it.
Allowing 5 people to at least no longer see the ads at the top of the hour.
Wait, mod clips and content cringe content. Well, it is great, but like that's the thing is like okay, so for me, like right, for something embarrassing to come up for me, I would have to actually like open it up myself. Like there's no, you know, I don't know. Like if I was on Discord with somebody could like, I don't know, maybe play audio or something like that. But they, yeah, I don't know what kind of setup. Maybe Hasan, because it's a bigger production, has a different sort of setup where he actually does have like effectively a producer running, you know, content on part of his setup. I think he just forgot how cringe. He forgot how cringe it was. I see.
Please have him on again.
Okay,
I'd
so
love to.
let me see if we can find this really quick, because I want to show you one more thing. VTuber AAVE, and you can tell this is cursed, can't you? You can tell that this is gonna be cursed. But we're not gonna find it that way.